Batteries fully charged. Launch ready for AEW Spark in 3, 2, 1. All Elite Wrestling discussion is live. Cue host Noah Foster.
Another week has passed, and you know what that means as we once again kick off the discussion on all things All Elite Wrestling and reignite the conversation right here on AEW Spark. So hello everybody, welcome once again to another weekly installment of AEW Spark. You know what this is, for I am the simple man of the simple brand, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, of course, as always, is my color analyst and cohort in all things All Elite Wrestling, founder, co-creator of MTW Productions, and Weymouth Youth Wrestling, James Gebert. James, how are you?
Doing good, brother. I'm just chilling. Was watching WrestleMania 26 earlier for the retro we're going to be doing on this channel. Going to be doing that with Steve Coakley, which is his pick. He makes his long-awaited return since, I think it was the third episode of Aftershock. He's going to be coming back for his pick of WrestleMania. He was there live for that, so just watching that, and other than that, doing pretty good. I literally watched Dynamite and Rampage this week. Basically what I've been doing. I've been busy as hell, but it's been a good kind of busy, as you know.
Well, you know, there's such a thing as being proactive, productive, and then there's such a thing as doing nothing and letting life wallow. So good on you. And for me, more of the same, more of the usual. Keeping it simple, working from home, watching wrestling where I can, catching up on New Japan Cup and Stardom. Congratulations to Prominence, by the way, that won the Triangle Derby. Trying to come over this damn cold. And overall, just, you know, getting ready for everything that's ahead, because this week's going to be nice, easy, and simple. Next week's going to be making an impact, especially towards Friday. My God, this multiverse show is epic and stacked. And then, of course, we have the week of Wrestling Madness. But before all that comes through, we, of course, have still a lot to discuss, too, since we have now gone through the fallout from the first pay-per-view this year of AEW. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, folks, thank you for tuning in. As we are live, please subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts as we take you through all of last week beyond Revolution as we talk about the fallout in AEW. We'll go ahead and kick things off, of course, with AEW Dark Elevation. That was March 6, 2023. Of course, as I always like to honor my sources. And for those that write papers, always notarize your sources. It's the correct way to go. Shout out to PW Mania, WrestleSoul, Wrestling Headlines, and Fightful. AEW Dark Elevation last week, of course, kicked off with tag team action as the Beasts of Burden. Marina Shafir and Nyla Rose took on J-Rod and Sandra Moon. I see Sandra Moon. I haven't seen her since that Impact showcasing. It started off pretty simple and slow. You had J-Rod who wanted Nyla Rose. I don't know what she was faking there. You were better off just, you know, hanging out with Shafir like Sandra Moon did in the beginning. Either way, there was shorter blocks. J-Rod, hey, you got guts. And then there was a mean body block that dropped her, and then Stomp says Nyla Rose is a beast of sorts. Goes for a choke slam, but J-Rod fights out of it, lands some strikes of her own, but then there is a black tag by Shafir. When J-Rod was able to lift Rose on her shoulders, but Shafir boots J-Rod down, preventing some sort of mounted offense. Then mounted work by Shafir, going to which into an armbar, but J-Rod rolls through into a pinning combination for two. As this match kept moving forward, J-Rod shoved Shafir off after Shafir was in control in the early going, basically isolating her opponent. Moon comes in, lands some elbows, a drop kick, but then a small package from Moon gets one. Very resourceful as Shafir felt like she was sparring here. Kind of seems to be the way she's going nowadays, which honestly is kind of okay with her style. As Nyla Rose tags herself in, they hit what they call the snapshot, which is, of course, that kick and assisted DDT for the win. Beasts of Burden continue to roll forward. It's a light dynamic of power, attitude, and focus from a more methodical approach that fits more Shafir's judo background. This duo works for what it's worth, and simple opener here. Not much more to say about that.
Yeah, my opinion still has not changed on Marina here. Like, it's It's good that
fair.
she's at least using her judo background as part of her moveset, but the problem is, like, I've seen people use the MMA style a lot better than her,
I know.
and that includes Ronda Rousey. That includes her. So I'm over this
It,
experiment. Honestly, I have
it
been.
is what it is. Not to
Yeah.
sound like not to cut you like pull the needle, but maybe I am. The last thing I want you to be on this forum, James, is a broken record. The last
Right.
thing I want you to be on this forum, James, is a broken record.
Yeah,
The last
yeah.
thing I want you to be on this forum, James, is a
Yeah,
You get the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Yeah. So
again, I feel that Shafir
not much to say.
is more. Again, the Shafir factor, it is what it is. But if she more so focuses on the, judo takeovers and more so set up the tag, I feel that's a better, comfortable fit for her in the AEW ecosystem. I feel her being with Nyla Rose better presents her, if that makes sense.
Yes, but it's also holding Nyla Rose back. That's my
True,
thing
but at
with
this
it.
point, Nyla Rose has already been the AEW Women's World Champion. She tried the TBS. She tried to grab the TBS Championship. She kind of right now is, unfortunately, in the shuffle. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
lost it because she does have her spot, but she is right now in the shuffle.
I don't know. Maybe that's
moving on.
what it needs to be, but I don't know. I just saw that Nyla Rose was visibly frustrated with this woman, and after the match especially, because she's
Maybe
certain spots of her, even in this match, she was like walking on two left feet. So
maybe they're just trying to tease a program of her going one-on-one to break up the dynamic. Who knows? Again, stay tuned, folks.
yeah, who knows?
Okay, next up. Well, this was pretty damn short, but there's nothing bad to say about this guy, because, James, he's a machine! At the Embassy with Prince Nana. The Embassy's Brian Cage, 1/3 of the Ring of Honor Six-Man Tag Team Champions, took on Rob McKnight, and I say took on in the lightest form possible. McKnight tried. Simple as that. There was some chops, but then he got caught with a corner clothesline and Saito suplex. Good lord, as Brian Cage used them for curling practice. I'm pretty sure he could use 2 Rob McKnights and still curled just as fast.
Right.
And a faraway slam after that. As McKnight tries to mount a comeback, there are some jabs, a running elbow, and a running boot. He runs into a super kick and then gets hit with a power bomb into a King Kong clutch, as it's being called. His variation of a clover leaf. Look at him adding more to his dynamic. And Brian Cage gets the submission win. Second time, I believe, he's won by submission.
Yeah,
Right there.
I'm happy with Brian Cage and the way he's kind of evolving here. Love the new submission. I love how he's Brian Cage. We know how good he is. This is
Who
basically
better?
just
Who better?
This was basically just a tune-up match for him going into the pay-per-view for Ring of Honor soon. I assume that they're going to be showcasing the Gates of Agony on that show, but this is basically what that is. This is a warm-up match for him, child's play for him, if you will.
Yeah. But again, who doesn't like seeing Brian Cage obliterate somebody? Remember what we called last year at Supercard of Honor, James? Brian Cage threw Ninja Mac back to Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah,
God, that
AKA, I wish I was Hanzo Mon.
Yeah, you wish.
Yeah.
Keep dreaming. Oh, good grief. Well, anyway. Also, just to give a little bit of a detour here, I'm going to give you all a little bit of an honor hotspot as the Gates of Agony have been presented and the MC as a whole have been presented lately in the new era of Ring of Honor that you could catch 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday nights if you are a member of Honor Club. James, I know, I'm sorry. And it's been a very good showing so far. It's really just showing a lot of classic ROH talent, a dedicated roster, dynamic New Japan Pro Wrestling, and still a little bit of that dynamic with AEW. I'll give y'all a few more highlights throughout this forum too, based on who's been performing on AEW platforms, but also there as well. A particular champion, particularly. But I'll more about that later.
Yes.
Moving on, we go rock hard as Juice Robinson, and I think we know now what he represents, takes on Titus Alexander. And Juice Robinson, of course, he is still a hothead as ever. Especially when Titus Alexander got out of a jumping splash from Juice Robinson at a 1 count. And then there were several other covers by Juice Robinson looking to make quick work here. as he tried to instigate referee Aubrey Edwards, who was not phased. You cannot intimidate Aubrey Edwards. Anyway, Titus answers back with a few chops, but goes for a dropkick and misses. Then we get a senton from Robertson that hits on point for a 2 count. As this keeps moving forward, there's a mule kick from Titus at one point and a flying forearm and a Blue Thunder backbreaker. Chaos Fury following up and a 2 count. Alexander, good stuff here. Until Robertson raked the eyes and drilled him with a German suplex. Cannonball senton, and then finally hit the Juices loose. And the Juice is victorious.
Mm-hmm. This was what it was, man. I'm just glad that as time goes on, he's doing more than just enhancement matches on Dark. But I enjoyed seeing what Juice can do, at least. So there you go.
He's a very effective athlete, former IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. I mean, don't sell the Juice short. That's all I got to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't expired.
No, he hasn't.
Meanwhile, no, definitely not. Meanwhile, as we go from there, Sky Blue took on the only baddie remaining, Layla Gray. And Layla Gray had some good posturing here. And for Layla Gray, it was more so just that dynamic of, I'm a baddie, respect this attitude, I'm with that bitch. And then Sky Blue answered back. In the early going, Sky Gray hit Sky Blue down and then laid into her with some corner work. And again, it was basically just continuing to posture, instigate Sky Blue. There was a nice running knee strike and then a bulldog out of the corner, for only a 2 count. Sky Blue follows up, hits her with a face buster, and then a knee of her own to set up a single leg drop kick for a 2 count. A single leg, by the way. Again,
yes.
Taylors, they work. But then Sky Blue fights back, countering the Skyfall, and hits her own version of a side effect, Matt Hardy probably approves, for a 2 count, until Sky Blue was able to bounce back again with the super kick setup, and finally sidewinds her into the flatliner, the Skyfall, and gets the win. Sky Blue victorious. Again, Sky Blue, she's been one of my favorites to see continue to rise through the ranks in an AEW. Of course, I remember seeing her work first out of AEW in the Chicago area. She's definitely one that I hope to see more of, and I'm glad that she got this spot.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a good match. I really enjoy Layla Gray performing. Like, the more I see of her, the more I'm impressed by her. And I think that more stuff that I feel like she needs more singles matches. I don't know why. I feel there's potential there, and I feel like she could actually be a star key player in like 5 years down the line. I think that's something you should definitely be developing as time goes on, especially on Dark and Dark Elevation.
She's definitely made a name of herself already on Ohio Valley Wrestling for those that follow that, like I do sometimes to a degree on Netflix and on YouTube. So definitely championship capable. But again, in AEW, how you organize stuff in that system is a whole other thing, especially right now when you're with the most predominant champion, Jay Cargill, who again is still undefeated and is the only TBS champion in this company's history. But still, a fair take, James.
Mm-hmm.
As we move on from there, we go into singles action with the Fallen Angel and talk about Ring of Honor, all-time Ring of Honor veteran, who is now back in Ring of Honor and has built a tag team dynamic with Matt Sydal. It looks like these two have tag team gold in their future. Makes me wonder if they'll reach for the sky. Boy, we'll talk more about that later. Anyway, Christopher Daniels took on the I don't even know at this point if the factory or not with this whole QTV thing. Oh, wait, spoiler alert. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, Cole Carter. Christopher Daniels took on Cole Carter one-on-one. And Cole Carter, in the early going, he basically hit Christopher Daniels with a nice arm drag and then followed up with corner work. A lot of corner work I've noticed being done throughout these matches, particularly on this episode, trying to really isolate and wear down the opponent. It's almost like tonight's lesson on Monday night. How do you handle the corner and your opponent in there for the 5 count? That's basically the concept I saw in all these matches. Anyway, continuing on from there, nice drop kick by Cole Carter, gets him a 2 count, and then he postures and poses in the corner, but you do not take Christopher Daniels lightly. As Daniels follows up with some quick roll-ups for a 2 count, but then Carter flows him with a right hand. Damn. And then grabs him with the face lock to slow things down. A bit of a rest hold, if you will. And then there's a suplex into a small package for 2. Then Daniels lands a German suplex, and both men are down. Nice little stop spot here. Clotheslines with the freaking order of this match. Good grief. SEO by
Mm.
Daniels later on, though, gets him a near fall, and then he looks for Angel's wings, but Carter, he trips him up to avoid it, counter out of it. Michinoku driver, very nice, effectively done by Cole Carter, but did not get him the win here. Got him a nice near fall, though. As he looked to end things with a 450 splash, Daniels was able to avoid it, sidestep with the corner splash, and land a Uranagi, and then hits, of course, the BME for the 1, 2, 3. The Fallen Angel rises in victory.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Good showcase for Daniels. I was marking out when I heard the music, even though I've heard it before. It seems like he's going to be
it's classic, dude.
classic Fallen Angel Daniels. I wonder what they're going to do with Daniels. Because, like, it's weird that he's there and he's doing enhancement matches, but he's not doing anything else. I feel like if you're going to have a guy like that around there, yes, he's a veteran. And yes, you have plenty of TV time that you've already given to other people. But I'm hoping at some point, whether it's an AEW or Ring of Honor, they actually give him some TV time and let him actually showcase what he could do on a grander stage and actually put some people over in a proper way on a bigger stage.
Fair.
So that's what I'm hoping for Daniels as we move forward with that. But still a good showcase match for Daniels nonetheless. You know, if you're there live, you got to see Christopher Daniels, so you can't really complain there.
Well, considering they're out in the California area, it makes perfect sense to me too. Hello, SCU, and like you said, the veteran putting forward younger talent, Cole Carter, pretty good showing here. And Cole Carter hasn't had very many singles matches. He's more so been a corner guy or a tag team guy in the AEW ecosystem. So it's nice to see what Cole Carter was capable to do here against this veteran. Again, when we think of elevation, I think about the talent you see here. Can they elevate themselves to be part of the mainstay? AEW Dynamite, or even have a chance on what feels like the follow-up, Rampage. So again, you see what you see here, you wonder what it means for them going forward and where they could go from here. I feel that's really what elevation comes down to. But that's just my
It's funny you mention that because Dark, you would think that would be kind of like that, but Dark had the better matches this week between the two developmental shows. That's how it felt like to me. Like, I feel like Dark had really great showcase matches, whereas Dynamite, whereas Elevation. Not so much. I don't know. I feel like it was very cookie cutter here.
Well, the biggest thing I look at when it comes to Elevation versus Dark, Elevation is as close to the actual feel of a TV presentation that you could think of. Why Dark, you got more so just the fine-tuning of yourself in the ring and show what you capable in the ring. In Elevation, you got the camera cues, you got this, you got that. You got to remember, when you're on Dynamite, you're not just wrestling, you're presenting. So Elevation, I feel, kind of is like the step below that kind of prepares you for that. Why Dark, you're right, is more so the focused wrestling dynamic in front of the audience. It's kind of like a balance of comfort zones and also playing strengths versus weaknesses and also fine-tuning them. So that's also how I look at Elevation as well. Because, again, you're there in the arena, in front of the people, coming in a TV-oriented environment. Excuse me, pre-TV-oriented environment. But how do you handle the camera cues? How do you handle that pressure? How do you use your time to the fullest, even if it's as little as 5 minutes?
Right. That's a very good point.
Any exposure, any opportunity is better than nothing. Hello, Shauna Reed. Red and blue looks great on you. Keep taking every opportunity you can. I hope to see you again soon. All right, as we move on from there, I'm glad to see this woman's back, and she has a theme, and that has to count for something. And think about this, James. The more people we see on these shows that get, like, the entrance and their own theme and dynamic, that has to mean something. And I think that definitely goes for this woman here that hung with the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Athena, in what was a proving ground match, where if she won, she would get a chance. Brooke Havoc, good to see her back. Straight out of the Nightmare Factory, was one of the most promising prospects and showcases, endorsed by Cody Rhodes himself. She even got her own theme. I think she's known as the queen of emos now, according to her Twitter profile. But good for her. Anyway, as she comes in, Athena, she tosses her around like a rag doll, but Brooke finally dodges a shot, hits a nice net breaker and shotgun drop kick, and gets a fall there, and then falls up in the ropes, but Athena cuts her off with a choke slam that only gets a 2 count. And then, okay, Athena, I didn't know you were this pissed, but who knew Athena was this strong and dynamic? constantly. I think she's giving Wardlow one of her money here, James. Her own powerbomb symphony of sorts to a degree, and locks in a crippler crossface where Havoc had no choice but to tap out. Brooke Havoc, way to endure. You forced Athena to show something she hasn't shown us before. That has to count for something, but damn, she got wrecked.
Yeah, this is just a full-on
what did Havoc do to piss off Athena? Jesus.
I don't know. She's mad. I don't want to be on her bad side. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know what? That's a fair take. And also, afterwards, what does Athena do? No code of honor. She plants her opponent face first into the Ring of Honor title. Except Little Nightingale came in this time for the save, even though damage was still done afterwards after she hit her in the steps. A freaking sore winner. By the way, sub-tangent. If you go back and watch one thing from Ring of Honor episode 2 last week, watch that Ring of Honor Women's World Championship match with Athena versus Willow Nightingale. Took her to the absolute limits.
Nice.
But Athena still won in the end.
No shit.
It was a tremendous match.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm definitely going to be going back and watching that. Cool.
We'll talk more after hours, actually.
I agree.
Yeah, again, tremendous match. Tremendous.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, moving on from there. It's so good to see the dynamic of Jake the Snake Roberts back with the Murder Hawk Monster, as it was time for one of my favorite fun times. As everybody dies, Lance Archer obliterated Jack Banning, literally egging him on, wanting to know why you are even here at all. You don't belong in the ring as me, but show me what you got. Just constant offense. The corner strikes, a freaking misdirect, and goes for the blackout, but Banning, he slips out, lands a few kicks, and just annoys the Murder Hawk. Really dumb move. Banning then slaps him, and that's when you know you effed up. Archer catches a jumping Banning out midair with a powerbomb, and then, I guess you call it the Everybody Dies Lariat now. Lariat, that's it, game over, bye, see ya. Lance Archer wins.
Bye, thanks for coming, buddy. Lance Archer, that was just all that was. What are we doing with Archer now that he's back? Because you brought him back just to do squash matches. I don't think this is what Archer had in mind when he said, I want to be brought back. And by the way, I love how you bring...
Murder Hawk.
I'm going to just say this. I love how you bring Archer back, and he was complaining about the same shit that Miro did, and you don't give him the same treatment. Why isn't Miro doing dark matches?
I honestly feel like they could do a sub-program with Miro and Lance Archer in some capacity.
Yeah, like
that are highly underutilized that should be utilized.
Why not revisit that also? Like, why not? I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs, he's the TNT champ now. Spoiler alert, by the way. Why not have a feud with him and Miro? Why not have a feud with him and Archer? You know? I think for some reason the TNT, the television titles are kind of reserved for the big guys for some reason. So why not establish that and actually, like, you know, give Miro a shot, give guys like Archer a shot at the belt, you know, actually give them something to do. Or there's also the international title. I mean, who knows what the hell is going on with that. Also, spoiler alert, I guess, because it's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a light sub-tangent, but it's an honest sub-tangent that I do agree with. And who knows, with this title leveling up that we'll talk about here shortly, with the fact that Double or Nothing is coming up now, that's the next preview they got set up for, and you know that means they're going to have an Owen. Maybe this means they finally will do something with people like Miro and Lance Archer.
Maybe.
Just saying. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But again, it's nice to see Lance Archer back on some capacity, obliterating people. That's a start for me. He took I will say this: Banning took his shot, and he suffered for it.
Yep.
But hey, speaking of taking a shot, Big Shotty Lee with Cole Carter took on Dark Order, Evil Uno, and again, it's nice to see Big Shotty Lee once again being able to showcase what he's capable of after such a period of time. Again, he was a trailblazer during the pandemic days of Dark, before Elevation was even a thing. Shout out to Kylan King, who also was that, who's now part of Impact Wrestling. And also, heads up, if you can catch CCW on Time Match Network, Kylie King will defend her network and CCW championship against Killer Kelly and Miyu Yamashita in a triple threat match, April 15th. Go check that out if you can. Good luck to the Mother effing King. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, this match was pretty good, though, here. Cole Carter, of course, played distraction a lot of times. But what I've noticed with Evil Uno, he's become a heavy striker. Literally. He just kept on throwing every pound of offense that he could. There was an elbow block follow-up, though, with a stiff elbow to Carter at one point, where Evil Uno had enough of that guy. Kudos to Evil Uno, by the way, doing this thing on his own alone. Meanwhile, Johnson did hit a drop kick, lands a chop, and it just seemed to fire up Evil Uno, who called for more. The audience was strictly behind him. And then there was an eye rake by Johnson after the ref was distracted so Carter could land a cheap shot. Damn it. Continue trash talk going forward, and then we get some more strikes, but then we get a super kick, and he recovers enough for a clothesline to the floor. Johnson, Evil Uno fighting back, but Johnson then lands a boot, but Uno cuts him off with his own eye poke. Bink! Hey, Turbo's fair play. And then drops him with a right hand. Some more clotheslines following up from that, though, and then we get a nice swanton bomb for a 2 count. Only by Evil Uno. As Johnson fights back with a super kick and then his own death-eye driver out of nowhere followed by another kick and a standing moonsault, perpetual motion by Lee Johnson. Impressive.
Yeah.
Only for a 2 count. Another super kick, though, and then he finally looks to go to the top again, high-risk district, and he misses, basically eats them on the canvas. Uno falls up with a boot and then hits a pile driver. That was not something evil, but it was damn sure something effective, and Evil Uno wins a nice main event closer for that episode of Elevation. Again, Evil Uno, since that match with Jon Moxley, it's a renewed fire in him. I don't know how long this fire burns, but overall, I've been impressed with him, and he continues to show me what he's capable of. He's not just the spokesperson for All Elite Arcade or the Dark Order, the original Brody Lee's #1 forever exalted. Evil Uno can go, and he's very capable in the ring. And Lee Johnson and him, I thought they had good chemistry. This was a good match.
I enjoyed it, yeah. Lee Johnson, we know how good Evil Uno is, but Lee Johnson, since we haven't seen him in a while, you could tell he's absolutely improved. Whatever he's been doing, definitely has been working, because he showed a lot of great stuff here. I talk about a lot of these guys on Dark that we see on a weekly basis, like Angelico and Lee Johnson here, for example. I think there was a couple other guys that we saw, that work a very good wrestling, like, transition style or, mat-based style. I feel like Lee is a hybrid that you could either have him in the pure division or for Ring of Honor or the X division for Impact. I think Lee is one of those guys that could either benefit going to Ring of Honor if he's not going to do much in AEW, and a little program for the Pure Championship against Wheeler Yuta.
Right.
Or, send him on excursion and have him go to Impact and compete for the X Division title against, say, who's the X Division champion right now? For some reason, my mind's blanking.
My hometown
Trey Miguel.
Trey Miguel.
Yeah. Lee Johnson versus Trey Miguel would bang, stuff like that. Fuego del Sol is another guy I mentioned that you could probably bring into the X Division and have a nice program with Trey.
Yeah.
I think it's stuff that should be explored more often. You have this Forbidden Door element. I think you should use it, especially with Forbidden Door around the corner anyway. Might be something to think about.
Well, again, we got Multiverse United first, and I feel that card already has stacked up to be even more promising than what already is booked for that whole week, all right? And again, that's the reason why it sold out first, folks, in more races than one. And you do talk about this whole dynamic. At the end of the day, you also got to think about negotiations, timing. It's easy for us to say that. We don't know what fully goes into all that happening. But I will say this when it comes to Impact Wrestling. Congratulations to Scott DeMarch. He is now the president of Impact Wrestling. So kudos to him of everything he's done for this company in both coach and management and competitor position. Again, I feel Impact Wrestling is in a better spot than ever been before. People should not sleep on it. And again, if I've had enough time, I would be recapping it, but there's just too much wrestling content every week to talk about everything. So I always am happy to give you these tidbits, even during our watch-alongs, the Japanese Never Multiverse Mia. And stay tuned, folks, because, of course, we will be covering Multiverse United, me and James, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me.
Which is funny. It's funny you mentioned
available on Fight.
It's funny you mentioned that, because now that you mentioned that there's going to be too much wrestling, I might as well just bring this up now then. I think this is a good segue to before we get into Dark Elevation, or rather Dark.
Not just dark.
What should have been
Awesome.
Dark Elevation was Dark this week. I don't know. We'll get to that though.
Fair enough.
So Wrestling Observer. I know, but this is the source, so you say source your sources. This is the source I'm sourcing it from. Although this came from the Mat Men podcast, so I lend this with some actual credibility. To be fair, AEW Warner Brothers Discovery deal finalizing for their third weekly wrestling show on TV. This comes to us from Josh Nasson of Wrestling Observer writing. And it says here that ROH and AEW head Tony Khan had previously said publicly that there has been more demand for additional AEW programming on TV. According to a report by Mat Men's Andrew Zarian, it appears that Khan is about to find out if that's true. And it goes on to say that on Saturday's edition of Mat Men, Zarian reported that AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery are closing on a deal to add a third AEW show onto their schedule. Similar to Rampage, this would be an hour-long broadcast. Zarian didn't know when the new show would officially be announced, but said to expect the news to come within the next month. While the official particulars are unknown, Zarian's recently tweeted a hint that led people to believe that it would be on Saturdays at 6:05 p.m., the previous day of WCW Saturday Night on TBS. He could not confirm that, however. If the deal is completed, the show will join Dynamite on Wednesdays and Rampage on Fridays. AEW is also launching their first ever reality series this Wednesday called All Access After Dynamite. So, there's a lot to unpack there. We talked about this briefly on Open Mic Night, but I figured it's worth bringing up here since this is AEW Spark.
I agree. Yeah.
We mentioned this on Open Mic Night. I love wrestling. I know you love wrestling. Owen loves wrestling, right? We love wrestling. However, you said it before I even read this story about Impact. There is so much fucking wrestling. It is so hard to keep up with it. Every day.
Every day.
And by the way, in case you haven't noticed, the whole reason why these have actually been banging in views, especially the shorts, on this channel is because not a lot of people have that much fucking time in a week. They really don't. Like like I know most people, they're not gonna watch Dark Elevation much anyway, but you know, a majority of people watch Dynamite and Rampage. Now we're adding Saturday Night into the mix, which is apparently going to be the name of the show, Saturday Mayhem or whatever the fuck they're going to call it. So like when you add another Saturday night show at 6:05 apparently, which I assume is going to be actually 55 minutes because that's the WCW time slot that they always had, by the way. For Saturday night.
Not to mention that wouldn't conflict with anything on the Peacock when it comes to PLEs.
Exactly. So I'm not even against the extra hour of content. I think the problem is they're trying to add another hour show for the week instead of just adding the extra hour on the Rampage that it desperately needed anyway. I think you would have been better off just moving your time slot back for Rampage, for people to get used to.
Do it 6 to 8 on Friday.
6 to 8 on Friday. Might as well. We know the ratings won't be great right away. That was obvious. But if you get people used to that over time, and you load the show up for the first 2-hour Rampage, full-time weekly, like, I don't know, CM Punk's fucking return promo, you know, for example.
Not to mention it'd be pre-recorded. It's not like it's going to be live every week.
Yeah, but but here's the thing, though. This is one of those situations where you could pre-record it, but if there is that much demand for another hour of Dynamite, right, or another hour of AEW programming,
In general.
why not just make it fucking live then? Pay the expenses to give it live. If you have enough corporate synergy that they want another hour, add it to Rampage and have the show go live every week. Seriously. I don't see the problem with that. It would be, because then you got to think about it logistically. You have two shows, one on TBS, one on TNT. You have
Correct.
4 hours on the Turner networks, and then you have two additional hours on Our Club. That already is 6 hours of wrestling, but at least you have enough freaking time for everybody to be showcased within the month. If you realistically do that, you could realistically fit everybody on the roster within that month, at least once. That's what I really think they need. I don't think the Saturday night thing is the thing. That's just my take on it. But
I completely agree. I don't think having some sort of wrestling content on daily is the way to go, but just build off what you have now to bring more opportunity and more talent showcasing is. At the end of the day, there are two flagship shows, Dynamite and Rampage. That's where they have the bigger storylines. That's where they have the bigger match showcases. That's where really the most eyes are, indifferent or not. You could go to YouTube at any time for a Dark and Elevation, and sometimes people might just watch that on a lunch break, especially if it's like a Super Stack edition, which again is talent showcasing, but again, if it doesn't get the same type of viewership, how much of that is actual, exposure? There's only so much you can actually get from people by just showcasing your stuff across the internet. So
yeah, right.
I definitely agree with you there. But as soon as I heard Saturday, I was like, no. The one thing you don't need to do is bring TV-based wrestling on Saturday. It just won't work in this day and era, I think. It just won't as a standalone, especially if it tries to be a constant standalone. There's a reason why Saturdays and Sundays have been dedicated for the longest time since streaming has existed
to
premium live events and pay-per-views. Because that is the focal point for people to just tune in for the top marquee stuff on weekends. Other than that, people are either out and about, watching a movie, sleeping, or watching football. They don't think about, that weekly broadcast of wrestling that you get on Monday, on Wednesday, on Friday, primarily, and Thursday for those that have access to TV like me. But besides that, while there is wrestling still all 5 days those week, most of that are wrestling is YouTube and streaming. So, again, the attention for television is there at peak times, and Saturday evening isn't one of them. So I definitely agree that they should build off of Rampage, but I still think Rampage should be an earlier time slot. If they did 6 to 8, I feel that'd just be fine. You see that if people would actually still be engaged to watch the other product, or what they would do with their Friday evening. And in my case, I would be doing my Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's fucking go. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like Rampage should be a simple 2-hour event, just like Dynamite is a simple 2-hour event. If WWE did a simple 2-hour Raw on Monday night and a simple, truly standout, non-wild card roster invitational 2-hour SmackDown on Friday nights, I'd probably be watching WWE more.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's just that's just my take on that. The way AEW is running their ecosystem now, I feel is fine. You have the casual time on Monday and Tuesdays. You have the marquee on Wednesdays on TBS. You have Thursdays for a podcast form if you want just some AEW content. And then you have Friday for the TNT content to close you out for the week. I don't think adding an extra hour on Rampage is a bad idea. If it helps consolidate also how much you're only showing your roster on YouTube versus TV.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so
Again,
weird.
like I said, especially in this day and age where we're so connected through everything at any given time. The attention span of today's society has extremely decreased. We do not dedicate ourselves for the long term into a single object because all it takes is or something else or some other screen or some other feed. Bam! Distracted. What am I doing? What was I saying? What was I watching? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, unless you're binging a constant series, how long does a person actually keep up with the same exact show on a weekly basis, let alone a daily basis? It's one thing to
There
binge
you
your
go,
favorite
yeah.
series on Netflix within a single day. It's another thing to watch that series across the span of a week.
I will say that AEW isn't exactly wrong for doing it because at the end
No,
of the
I don't think
day,
they are either.
at the end of the day, if Warner's paying for it and they want it on Saturdays and they're willing to pay you for it, then like, yeah, take the money. I get it. I just think as a fan, it's like,
if it's not costing him,
yeah,
that's the thing.
that's the thing, and I don't think it is.
Again,
because,
how far does the
yeah.
how far does the almighty dollar rule judgment?
Yeah, exactly. I think there needs to be a healthy medium in that regard. Because if you were to go live with Rampage and you have 4 hours of weekly wrestling live, and then you have the other
Yep.
hour and a half to 2 hours taped, that's a much better use of time.
Yep.
And that's not even including Ring of Honor, which would be another
Yep.
2 hours taped, mostly anyway. So
But to be fair, a different ecosystem, different set. Tony Khan even said, looking at this like a studio wrestling where there's not those time stamps, the network pressures, it's a lot easier for him to produce the Ring of Honor presentation and stand it out from AEW, but still feel like Ring of Honor of old, but still have good flow. Again, when I look at Ring of Honor so far, flawless.
yeah, right. Again,
And they're only 2 episodes in.
so I think there needs to be that. I think that's what needs to happen. Make the hour for Rampage itself. I don't think there's a need for, and plus here's another thing, and this is I'll go back to an idea that I pitched. I haven't pitched it on this show, so I'll pitch it here.
Go ahead.
If you're gonna have the extra hour on Rampage, do away with Battle of the Belts specifically on TNT, and work out a deal with Discovery itself to actually air AEW content on Discovery every quarter, and have Battle of the Belts air on Discovery. Like that should be the thing we're pushing for here. Like a live 2 hour special, almost like a Saturday Night's Main Event type deal where every championship has to be defended on this night. And like, oh wow, there's big stakes here.
But
Well, whoever is going to be on that week, they have whoever is on there, titles being defended. That would be huge, especially if your first championship. Like, I'll give you a great example. Say, and I'll throw 2 random names out here. Your first match for Discovery is going to be MJF defending the World Championship against Kenny Omega. Just as an example. You might not be able to fit that on pay-per-view. Put it on Battle of the Belts on Discovery. And then there you go. And then whatever you have is like, okay, now you have 8 shows for AEW, 4 that are free, and hell, any of the Dynamite specials you could probably put as like Discovery specials. So maybe make one of them Battle of the Belts, and then the other one like, Fyter Fest or Grand Slam, stuff like that. I just feel it would be better. There'd be more corporate synergy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, than there already is. And then, and then at the same time, you're not having 3 hours on TNT every week, or 3 hour, an additional freaking 3 hours on TV every week. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird dynamic, but if you're gonna do this dynamic, whether it's Saturday night or an extra hour Rampage, do away with Battle of the Belts and just make Battle of the Belts a TV special on like Discovery. That's my whole recommendation there. But
that's fair. And also, let's not forget that you also alluded to, and as we also talked about, starting March 29th after Dynamite, and I don't know if this is just a long-term weekly thing or a seasonal thing, AEW All Access. That takes us behind the scenes with an in-depth look like we've never seen before. And again, that's March 29th. That is 3 hours of All Elite content that Wednesday night.
Yeah. But I do find it interesting that they are doing this starting March 29th. before Double or Nothing in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
telling.
the week right before Battle of the Belts.
Because what they won't show, and I know why they won't, because you know it's going to be the season finale, is the Brawl Out. And I think that's when Punk's coming back. That is, I think, why they made this the announcement first out of the many announcements that are coming throughout the week. I think what we're seeing here is a company reset almost, kind of unfolding slowly here. Because now it's like Tony Khan's appearing with an announcement every week for like the next, 8 weeks or something, somebody said. Oh, so he's going to have an announcement, and I think it's all going to correlate to a change in the entire infrastructure of the company, hopefully for the better. But, yeah, I don't know. It is odd that they are, since you brought it up, I feel like it is very telling that they're doing that right around Double or Nothing time.
Well, again, Double or Nothing, the build out to that's going to probably start after Battle of the Belts. Remember, we know that Double or Nothing now will be literally that weekend in May, the last weekend of May, and that is, just for people to know, Sunday, May 28th, folks, is the 5th Double or Nothing in this company's history, in them going through what basically is becoming their 4th year. And I'm glad they're actually keeping anniversaries in order here. The show that started all, yes, it's actually the 5th the 4th but 5th, but you get the idea. And that will be, of course, May 28th. So stay tuned for more details on that. So to build that up after Battle of the Belts 6, which will be April 8th. That Saturday, or actually it might be a double feature. It might be April 7th. I'll have to double check that. But you get the idea. I think it's a double feature night like they've been doing on Fridays.
Right.
But again, stay tuned for it. All I know is the April is going to be very interesting to see what comes to fruition when it comes to the landscaping of All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
But sorry if we went too far on a subtangent, but again, that's what happens here sometimes.
Let's
go ahead and resume back to.
I was gonna just bring one thing back up just to squash the rumor because we might as well. One last subtangent is the GCW tried to delay the video game of AEW Fight Forever. I'm just gonna read what Sean Ross Sapp tweeted, and that's the only source I'll cite there. And if anybody want to know, it would be Sean Ross Sapp because he actually fucking works with the company. To be fair, openly has done shows with them. He says GCW is not. I'll repeat that. Not looking to delay the release of AEW's video game or get money from AEW per GCW itself. I assume by who runs GCW again? Who's the company owner?
Brett again. I forget the name.
I know. I assume per Brett. Yeah, I think his name is Brett. Brett Lauderdale, I think. Yeah, Brett Lauderdale.
Brett Lauderdale, thank you, yes.
Yeah, so Brett, I assume per Brett Lauderdale. They're looking to make sure they can still use the name, their pay-per-view Fight Forever, for their future charity shows. That's it, people. Stop reading into shit. Okay, that's all I have to say. All right, now we can move on. Those are the only two things I have.
We live in. You know what? That's fair, and again, that's respectable. The bottom line is, people don't assume it makes an ass out of you. All right, let's go ahead and get back to AEW Dark. And speaking of things that rhyme unintentionally, we kick things off once again with Sky Blue, who took on Milo. And I like what Milo brought here. Some good con double tie-up here. Nice arm drag. These two are a bit counterintuitive here. A more competitive match, to say the least, on both sides. After Sky Blue basically was bounced off the top rope and then got knocked out to the outside, followed up with a kick, and then takes her also out there, crashing her into the apron, delivers a chop, brings it back in the ring. Very smart by Milo here, keeping on the offense, delivering a slingshot suplex off the ropes, and then sits Blue on the top, looking for something big here. Hits a crossbody, though. Sky Blue follows up, though, with a running knee and Isseguri. Good countermeasures, but Milo fights back with a cutter. And goes to the top and looks to basically hit high risk, no reward, as Blue rolls out of the way before a thrust kick is struck. And once again, you know what follows that? The Sky Fall. And Sky Blue wins against a very game Milo. Good opener here. And Sky Blue is 2 for 2.
I'm not against her using a flatliner. My suggestion.
Oh, sidewinder flatliner, to say the least.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole twisting into the flatliner, I feel it's a lot harder to pull off, and I feel that Sky Blue always kind of struggles with it. My recommendation: just take Shelton Benjamin's pay dirt. Call that the Skyfall. Simple, effective. Otherwise,
Benjamin free like friggin' gimmick infringement.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, it's Skyfall. You know, you call it a different name. Everybody steals moves in wrestling now. But otherwise,
what's original wrestling anymore?
Exactly. Otherwise than that, good match.
All right. Meanwhile, we have the Machine once again. Good grief! I feel like I was on correct.
This match kicked ass.
As the Machine. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Representing TMDK for those that may have forgot. At least I think he's still part of TMDK. Anyway, NWW Strong, Bad Dude Tito. Bad Dude Tito brought it against the Machine, Brian Cage. Power for power here.
This was a big hoss match all day.
Yeah, the big hoss is an understatement. Back and forth with submission holds in the early going, but then Tito gains the upper hand with a nice short tackle, but Cage fights back with uppercut, German suplex, falls out with a forearm, but then Tito locks in an ankle lock before Cage escapes and hits Tito with a lariat. Good grief. As Brian Cage follows up the roundhouse kick, Tito manages to get out of the way and hit a flipping net breaker off the top rope.
Yeah, blockbuster.
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool.
But in layman's terms, glorious. Follow up by that, he kicks him in the midsection, catches him with insecurity, hits a Blue Thunder Bomb, but doesn't put him down yet.
Yeah, real quick, Blue Thunder Bomb was the cleanest Blue Thunder Bomb I've ever seen anybody hit in my life. Cause
that says a lot.
Like, and that's not to say anybody else has a bad Blue Thunder Bomb, but
well, I mean, you're talking about Sami Zayn, Konosuke Takeshita, Big Shy Lee, just to name a few.
Yeah, but the way Tito hits it, the way I can describe it is, if this dude decided to be like, I'm going to do the rotation of the Deep Six and turn the Blue Thunder Bomb into a last ride, that's basically what Big Tito's Blue Thunder Bomb is, bro. Like, this, he got some elevation on this, and the rotation, rotation was clean. It's like he was helicoptering them in the air and then drilled them down by the seat of their pants. So,
and still wasn't enough, as Cage was able to escape and hit him with a discus lariat, followed by a power bomb, and then again, that move, the modified Texas Cloverleaf, high angle for the win.
Yeah,
the Machine overcomes Bad Dude Tito.
It's more like an educator almost, like an educator Lion Tabor combo.
A little bit.
But he's stomping
on the head.
The way
he has him up, though, because you gotta remember, the way he has him up, though, you gotta remember, Brian Cage's girth is so much bigger, by the way. So it's like, he has to bring more of himself up into it. So, yeah, call it what you will.
First thing I said
after submission win again for Brian Cage.
The first thing I thought to myself after seeing this guy was, if he's not signed anywhere, sign him. This bad dude Tito is great. He's great. It's enough said. There you go.
Previously worked alongside Jonah as part of TMDK, which is now run by the frontman Zack Sabre Jr. I do not know at this point if Bad Dude Tito is still part of TMDK or even part of NWW Strong, because I'm actually behind in tapings. Again, too much wrestling. I can't keep up with everything, folks. That being said, yeah, I mean, again, you figure about people that have had these matches with Brian Cage that made a marquee, I would say, presentation for themselves. Willie Mack, Bad Dude Tito.
Yep.
Who's next? Against Lubetta. We'll find out soon enough. But Brian Cage, he's a guy that sets you up.
Yeah, sets you up to do big things, too. By the way, I think right after that, another guy who works his ass off every time when he's put with a good opponent. Let's talk about the next match.
Okay. But before that, Lance Archer destroyed two people 2-on-1.
That's right. Oh, yeah. That was so quick that I don't even remember who the two people were.
You could blink.
Yeah, you really
Cody Cahoon and Guillermo Rosas.
Yeah, Gilly Burrito and Cody Cutter. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Got absolutely squashed by Lance Archer, bro. It was like there was no competition here. It was done.
Just give Lance more bodies. Lance must destroy more. That's all I need. Lance must destroy more. Give him 4 people next time. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's go ahead and talk about this next match because you talk about people that have been impressing us. I had no idea who this guy was. And then he showed us what the hell he could do against Konosuke Takeshita. Jack Cartwheel.
Yeah.
Konosuke Takeshita and Jack Cartwheel. Damn.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna start off by saying yes.
Go ahead.
Guy's name is Jack Cartwheel. He's exactly what you would expect. He is, at first glance, a jobber that could do cartwheels. Except when you realize that every single part of his moveset actually makes sense because every spin that he does actually adds more rotation to every fucking move he does, which makes it way more impactful. AKA, Jack Cartwheel's great, sign him. That's basically all I gotta say. Go ahead, sorry.
Shout out to our friend at Sienna Score Chanel, Cindy G, who of course was there live. No doubt she recognized this incredible independent talent. I'm sure she was glad that he, amongst so many others, performed. And again, Cindy, I hope you had an incredible time. Please, folks, follow Sienna Score Chanel's Twitch channel to vibe and enjoy all things wrestling once she fully recovers from her All Elite Revolution 2-week spree of shows. Anyway, yeah, this match was freaking great. Lock up in the early going. By the way, Jack Cartwheel's got a similar... He gives me a similar vibe to when Takeshita first arrived with the tassels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's hilarious.
Tackle and then...
Not only does he have the tassels, let's call them what they are. He's got the Lex Luger freaking Lex Express tassels on.
Red, white, and blue. Yes, indeed. You're absolutely correct.
Fucking hilarious. I love it.
Oh, God. As Jack Cartwheel delivers a kick in there and going to send Takeshita to the outside, and then he goes flying with his agility and his flipping, and gets tossed back inside the ring and delivers a nice and scurry as he trips up Takeshita and hits a stalling elbow drop over the top rope.
Yeah.
But Takeshita fires back with German suplex. Again, we talk about freaking Jack Cartwheel's agility. Takeshita, he has the most picture-perfect, defined, if you will, German suplex, bridge or not. And then follows up with a stiff elbow strike as he follows up with the clothesline from Japan. I'm going to put it out there. And
yeah, they call it the Takeshita line apparently, and I'm like, no, just call
it. You know what? Hater Ray, Raymaker, Discus Lariat, all the clotheslines got the different names and effective level of impact. Pumping Bomber, Shigetakagi. Good grief. What else can I name here? I'm just going to stop there because I'll be here for another 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough.
I see deliver a damn good clothesline. Meanwhile, Blue Thunder Bomb, nice sit out for a near fall that hits what he calls the Sahai. That V-trigger, run-in, rising knee strike for the win against Jack Cartwheel. But this was a really fun match. And again, Jack Cartwheel, he's more than flips.
No, yeah, he's way more. Dude's got some great agility to him. And I would love to see what he could do more, man. Like, he's really good. He's really good. Don't have him in squash matches. This guy should actually be signed. Oh, boy. There we go.
Well, I mean, again, to be with Konosuke Takeshita, that's not a squash. That's some high-level competition, and he brought it.
Yeah, this guy should be...
So he was turned inside out forcefully by a lariat.
Yeah, and
you saw how many times he flipped during that. Jesus.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, definitely actually have him in competitive matches again going forward. I just don't know where you would put him, but if you... this is the way I see it. If you can't put him anywhere else, have him do some Ring of Honor dates for a bit. Honestly, I just hope somebody's... AR Fox, yeah. Good point.
AR Fox versus Jack Cartwheel, Ring of Honor, boom.
Yeah, or frickin' bring Commander back. Commander versus Jack Cartwheel.
Oh my gosh.
That was a match I recommended.
All the people with the flips. Why not? Ray Phoenix, Commander, AR Fox, and Jack Cartwheel.
And Dante. Hey, Dante
and Dante
too.
Martin.
Why not?
Yeah, I just said Dante.
Who else got flips?
Match.
There's other flippy dudes. We gotta have another flippy guy.
Sammy Guevara?
Yeah.
He does flips.
He does do flips.
I'm just saying.
He does do flips.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Aerial acrobatic at its finest with capable athleticism. All right. This was not very capable. This was just Big Bill versus Julius Coleman.
Oh
Not
my
much to
god.
really say here. Big Bill stood stationary for the most of this match. But Coleman delivers a corkscrew drop kick, fires up a few right hands, but Big Bill whips him out of the ring. Big Bill basically just whipping this guy around. And then finally delivers a delayed choke slam from 10 feet above his 7-foot height for the win. And I think you can teach that because a choke slam is an emphatic finish. At least a choke slam actually won a match, if you want to call this a match. Big Bill wins.
Well, I mean, considering how high the fucking chokeslam was, I mean, the dude was damn near about the height of a fucking ladder. So.
Right?
Yeah, might as well have been the
Jesus.
finish.
Could have been a little nicer to him. Come on.
I mean, you know, jobbers and shit.
Poor Julius Coleman.
Yeah.
Hey.
The first thing that Casey said, because I was at, it's a funny thing, so we were recording WYW footage, and Casey and I were on our way to pick up people. We were watching it in the car. First thing Casey said is that Caprice Coleman? I'm like, no, he's the commentator we were on.
No.
And so I replied with, well, maybe it's his brother.
Damn.
Julius Coleman.
No relation, I think.
Julius and Caprice Coleman, you know, is good stuff.
I think Caprice Coleman would have been more effective than Julius Coleman, even against Big Bill. But
Yeah,
that's just my
true
take.
true
Considering
that.
I see Caprice Coleman in action on NWA. Again, Caprice Coleman's not just a commentator, dude. He's a wrestler.
There you go.
All right. Following this, let's smile and let's boogie as Willow Nightingale took on Zoe Dubois. As the match started out with an early lockup exchange, some submission holds, and then a nice front kick with a belly-to-belly. Then Zoe Dubois hit a forearm and a kick, but Nightingale followed up with a clothesline and that hip attack. Good grief. Sending Dubois crashing, and then follows up with a big boot and spine buster, the unorthodox powerhouse that she is. As she looks for a pin, but hey, Dubois, kudos to her. She stood in it. She kicked out. And then got planted with the Doctor Bomb as Willow Nightingale got the win. And then Athena made sure to remind her who she is, knocking her out with the free and holding the title in hand before the predominant match I was talking about earlier. But hey, I'm always good to see Willow Nightingale. She's such a bubbly joy of energy, and she's very effective in the ring for what she does.
I agree. Yeah, she was very, very good here. Can't wait to see her match that she had with Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So there you go.
20 minutes.
Mm.
Enjoy that, James. That's all I'm going to say. And also enjoy Wheel of Universe Timothy Thatcher because...
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're talking.
Clinic.
Oh, now we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Ring of Honor. Honor is back, people. Join Honor Club. Watch RLH.
There you go.
That being said, we move on to our last match of the evening as... Hey, I was just talking about this guy. AR Fox took on the Hollywood hunk, Ryan Nemeth.
Yeah, what a really
This
good
was-
showcase for both guys here, by the way. Especially for Ryan
I'm about to
Nemeth.
say, who's not in singles action enough.
That's my point. Like, get this guy on
He's
TV
the
more
brother
often.
of Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, like...
He's the Dolph Ziggler of AEW.
Well, dude, okay. So before we go anywhere, Taz and Excalibur, for the record, they were talking shit
Damn.
all throughout this
Yes,
broadcast. They were just going nuts. Okay, now,
As they do.
sorry, I yawned in mid sentence there,
No,
but
you're
I'm not
good.
bored. I'm just very tired. I bring this
That
up
makes two of
because
us, and I'm covering cold.
apparently, and I wasn't aware of this because we don't. I guess I just don't pay attention to it often, or I laugh at the moment and then forget later. But there's no way I was forgetting this
Fair.
time. They apparently made up this story that Ryan Nemeth apparently steals. Apparently, he is known backstage for being a thief and stealing people's belongings and items. And I'm over here thinking to myself, they are taking the piss. They have just made this dude sound like an absolute thief. At another point during this match, I think they called his brother ironically enough, a fake imitator. There's another Nemeth that's a fake. I'm like, oh, I get it, because he doesn't go by Nemeth. Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, here's a money making idea for you there, AEW. Make the commentary track for AEW the podcast track, and people will listen to it, and you'll make fucking millions off that alone. Because the Spotify plays on that would be fucking ridiculous. I'm just saying, it's extra money. There you go.
Yep. It's more AEW content on all different platforms. That's how you get the name out there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, heck, AEW Unrestricted is the podcast. Why not have them have competition, I guess, with Taz and Excalibur?
Yeah, just Taz and Excalibur. Just rip their AEW commentary track on Dark and then just post it there. There you go. It's perfect.
It's almost like the dynamics sometimes. I always get Taz vibes from you sometimes with your color analysis and humor when we do commentary, James.
Do I? Hey, sometimes I try to be the funny guy.
Dude, you know, sometimes a little comedy goes a long way.
Taz at least could stop himself from laughing. The minute the laugh motor goes, I can't stop, bro. I'm like Dusty Rhodes in a Public Enemy match.
Excalibur's gone.
Like, dude, I'm like Dusty Rhodes in a Public Enemy match. I'm just gonna laugh until the cows come home, bro. Like,
pretty much.
Actually, I'll take that back. Dusty Rhodes on commentary for any hardcore fucking match.
Bowser, let's put that up there in the highest echelon.
He got a bicycle.
Speaking of highest echelon. The bicycle can't. Speaking of highest echelon, AR Fox literally flew to that in more ways than one. Again, AR Fox, my God. Early going here, they lock up. There's a knee and a splash in the corner. And things really picked up, though, when we got a stop that sends him out to the ring apron. Nemeth in control here, brings him back inside the pin, but Fox kicks out. A few more stops, and of course, Nemeth gloating. I don't think he's gloating about a spray tan. But meanwhile, Fox kicks out of a drop kick. Hey, that's another Nemeth Ziggler specialty. And Nemeth delivers a knee to the midsection and then takes a shot at his chest. But following that, AR Fox bounces back, hits a fisherman's buster and a back elbow and a cutter. Freaking combo if you had this on the game. Goes for the pin, but Nemeth kicks out. Again, Nemeth, he is a seller. He's also an endurer. As AR Fox looks to hit the 450 splash, Nemeth moves out of the way and hits him with, if that doesn't look like a Dolph Ziggler DDT, I don't know what
Bro,
does.
Holy shit, did it ever.
I need a side-by-side to see who actually holds their opponent or their body horizontal longer, because that's Dolph Ziggler DDT right there. Bro, I don't care who did it first.
Can we just have Ziggler... Can we just make a trade? Like, give somebody something. Like, just give them whoever they want to WWE and just ask in return for Dolph Ziggler so we can have the Hollywood Hunks as a tag team. I just want to see the Nemeth... I just want to see the Nemeth boys do stereo DDTs, okay? Okay? Cool.
You're just going to have to deal with two feeds at the same time and just look at a Dolph Ziggler highlight. The day I see Dolph Ziggler on my screen in AEW is the day I'm like, Spider-Man Inception. What?
Yeah, you know,
you?
Hey, listen, he'd be the ultimate wingman because you know why? He fucks Sonny. So.
Damn.
There you go. Although, to be fair,
not wrong.
This is before the before the taboo things happened with Sonny, and I'm talking about on the road. But but still,
yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
But still,
you're not wrong.
He fucks Sonny, so he would be the ultimate wingman, man. If he could do that, then I think Ziggler would be the guy. The wingmen need him as the wingman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all I know is all I know is ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Meanwhile,
she goes away. Sorry.
And I know. No, not copyright. I used to sing that song by heart. Don't think I won't. All right. That's my jam. All right. God rest my father's soul. Meanwhile, Bill Withers, man. And God rest Bill Withers. AR Fox manages to land a cutter and falls up and finally hits the 450 splash for the win. Game main event showcased by both. I swear, every time I see Ryan Nemeth when he actually performs in singles, He's the Dolph Ziggler of AEW.
Yes, because he's his brother.
Period. Yeah, like brother.
Exactly.
That's a
factoid for you, and I got a boil on my ass. Sorry, I pulled a Taz there.
And that was AEW Dark as we move into the flagship show. Again, Dark, good balance showcasing, and there actually was supposed to be more matches, but as we'll talk about next week, those remaining matches was put on this edition, which I find very interesting because it was one of the shortest editions of Dark, and yet it was still a very good edition of Dark, as it was the first full-blown showcase of Dark from the new venue, or newly built-up venue. I think it's the same place. It just built the stage up better and added more people, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But we'll talk more about that next week. Let's get into Dynamite, as, again, it was the Dynamite that was the fallout from the most incredible pay-per-view of my life. AEW Revolution, that's just a fan's opinion, from the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. And we were seeing who was going to rebound or continue to build off of what they did Sunday at the pay-per-view. And we kicked things off with freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal 3. This, by the way, I love the fact that Satnam Singh and Sunday Dutt were banned from ringside immediately by the referees. This was the third encounter, of course. These two men, they are 1-1. But this was Jay Lethal's second attempt at Orange Cassidy's AEW All-Atlantic Championship. The key thing here for me was there was a game plan by both. Jay Lethal went after the knee. He constantly focused on the knee, of course, for the figure 4 leg lock. But Orange Cassidy, very smart, he worked on the shoulder of Jay Lethal to basically break the needle for the attempted lethal injection. As this match kept going back and forth, counter for counter, countered the satellite DDT into a cradle. There was, again, Lethal is so damn underrated for what he can do in the ring. Franchise Ring of Honor for the reason, folks. Why there was polarizing Lethal chants at one point after Cassidy was sent to the steps, knee first. Ouch. And then Cassidy charged Lethal in the corner, but Lethal basically takes out his Oranges on the top rope, takes him off the vine. Connects with a running chop block, sends Cassidy to the outside, and then does the strut. I hate it.
I hate it too.
Anyway, that's a whole personal
can I be honest? Can I be honest about this?
Go ahead.
As you can go through the rest of the match after I say this, but I think Lethal should have won here. We'll get to why afterwards. I'm curious to get the rest. You'll see the reason why, but continue.
As I will. As we continue moving on down this match, he catches Cassidy in a shin breaker, drives him into the ring post, and Lethal, apparently like a shark that smells blood in the water, continues working over the knee and hits a puller submission, stump puller submission, a bit of a modified submission hold, if you will. As Lethal continues to mock Cassidy, but Cassidy kicks him in the injured shoulder. Again, the shoulder exploited earlier by Orange Cassidy, as I alluded to. Some counter offense earlier. Lethal comes off and the top with a diving DDT, satellite DDT by Cassidy, finally for a 2 count, still not enough. And then Cassidy's knee buckles as he looks to run in for the orange punch. And Lethal immediately traps in the figure for leg lock, but Cassidy finds his way into the ropes and finds himself in the apron. And both of these men right now, dangerous territory. Chops being laid in, and then Orange Cassidy with chops of his own, and a clothesline sends Lethal into the ring. Very interesting, bringing him inside the ring. As Lethal catches Cassidy jumping in the ring with a fireman's carry into a military press, where he plants Cassidy on his feet, jamming the knee again. So even when Cassidy tried to counter back, Cassidy hurt himself. Very smart. As this continued moving forward, he looked for the figure for leg up, and Cassidy rolled him up for a 2 count, and a super kick to the knee takes Cassidy's baits out. But then Lethal, I think on the instinct alone, he went for that lethal injection, didn't have the base. Collapsed immediately under the damaged shoulder, and got caught with an orange punch. And Lethal was down and out. Orange Cassidy retains once again. Still AEW All-Atlantic Champion. And 2-1 now to Jay Lethal. 2-0 in AEW Electric Championship defenses against Jay Lethal. And Jay Lethal falls short once again. Tremendous opener here. Very balanced. You could definitely tell how they evolved since their first 2 encounters. But either way, the result remains the same. We still have a freshly squeezed champion. Now, before I talk about the aftermath, James, curious on your take here. What made you think that Jay Lethal needed to win the title here?
So
or has he been on such a roll?
So I think that first off, this match is great. Now, if they don't end up doing this, then I will say that this is the right decision. But as of right now, because I have a sad feeling that I know what's about to happen, especially with the post-match angle. I think this was a mistake. In fact, I'll even just run through that so you don't have to. After the match,
go ahead, bro.
After the match, Jay Lethal did a diversion, acted like he was going to hit the Golden Globe. Bryce Remsburg sent him to the back, but then it was a diversion the whole time because ain't he great? Mr. Jeff Jarrett comes out, smashes Orange Cassidy in with the stroke, and then hits the guitar shot over his leg, his bad leg that was worked on the whole match.
Yep.
I really think that Lethal should have been the one to win here, because I have a feeling that Jarrett's winning next week. I just have that sinking gut feeling that he's gonna win this next week. Listen.
No.
I know there are people that like Jarrett. There's a lot of people, whether it's justified or not, that do remember his reign of terror in TNA. And while there were legitimate reasons for doing so at that time, because they really didn't have anybody else until Sting showed up, I genuinely believe that, and this is truly, honest to God, the problem. I truly think that a lot of people are going to have sour grapes if he wins. Because the problem is, if you give it to Jarrett, why? There is a lot of people you could give the belt to. This isn't a situation where Jarrett needs to win the belt to gain credibility for it.
Exactly.
You just don't need it. Lethal having the title, on the other hand, you have an argument there. His name has not been tainted. And if anybody deserved the fucking singles champion in this company, especially since arriving here and what they've done with him before they paired him up with Sanjay and Jarrett and everybody, it's fucking Lethal. Lethal deserves a fucking singles championship in this company. Because especially for the name, since you rebranded it the International title. Because it was the All-Atlantic title for tonight going forward. But now we're going into the International title. That's what it's going to be called going forward. So
that was Tony Khan's announcement, just to do a sub-tangent with you, as we're going to level up, according to Sam, as they're going to do their Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada debut on Dynamite. Jeff Jarrett versus Fresh Squeeze Orange Cassidy, for now christened the AEW International Championship.
Yeah, by the way, thanks for the royalties, not. Anyway, because I know where you got that from. That was from us, by the way, again. Anyway, so, fucking, yeah, I really think it should have been Jay Lethal somehow getting the win here, and Jarrett somehow helping him out to win here. Instead of them sending them to the back, it really should have been Jarrett helped them win this match here. That's just my deal with it. I mean, look, maybe Orange Cassidy pulls it out. And if that is the case, I am more than happy with Orange Cassidy still holding it than I am Jeff Jarrett. But if you really wanted to do the veteran thing where the veteran holds the title and gets a bunch of people over, and then that one guy finally defeats him and he's like super over, like aspect of it, like he did with Jericho, kinda, somewhat. Why not Lethal? Lethal was the better choice out of the two. How old is Jarrett?
I agree.
You know, compared to Lethal?
50. He's 50-something, and
56.
like I said during our watch-along on Revolution, and like I tell you right now, Lethal is the franchise of Ring of Honor. With this title being Christian International Championship, it screams for me that could be on both Ring of Honor and AEW.
And New Japan. And
champion at this point.
And New Japan. And Impact. And all of his old stomping grounds and new. Like, just let him defend it places. Jay Lethal's the guy to go with here. That's just me.
Yep.
I don't know why you're going with Jarrett. I hope it's not Jarrett. I really hope it's not.
I pray to God it's not. 20-minute draw. Remember, these matches are 20 minutes. 20-minute draw. And here's the other scary thing. Since Jeff Jarrett's been involved in AEW, he has not yet been pinned or submitted.
Oh my God, he hasn't.
No.
Oh, he's fucked. Oh, fuck. Orange Cassidy's fucked. You know, I wanted to give Jarrett some fucking credit. And I know a lot of people are trying to fucking give it to him now, but oh my God. If that statistic is true, we got a problem. Because that means this guy literally came in here to literally put himself over and presented it to TK like, oh yeah, I'm doing this for the betterment of the company, when Jay Lethal's right fucking next to him.
I don't know, man. All I'm gonna say, all I'm gonna say is this: the All Elite Zoom tomorrow night. Well, today, because you're probably this is live, so who gives a damn? The All Elite Zoom Wednesday night, March 15th. It's gonna be very interesting, and that's all I gotta say about that. So we gotta keep moving forward. Putting our life in shambles.
And I'll say this in case it happens, so that way I don't have to repeat myself like a broken record next week. Don't give me that he's a former name from WWE bullshit. Alright, Jay Lethal's the better choice, because we already have enough former WWE guys that have actually given some recognition to AEW. So spare me that fucking excuse, okay? Jarrett is not nowhere near the name of a lot of the guys that have held championships there that have come from WWE. That's just me, but that's all I'm going to say.
That's fair tangent. Speaking of people that were once in WWE, let's talk to what was once Renee Young, now Renee Paquette, as she was with Powerhouse Hobbs, as they, of course, were quoting about the fact that Wardlow had his car broken into and his TNT title stolen, along with his gear. But Hobbs basically saying, everything's just falling apart for you. But don't worry, I'm going to take the one thing that you have left, and that is the championship moniker. For it's not the title that I need from you, it's the fact that you are called champion. As we move forward from there, it was about to get absolute. And the revolution was going to be televised. As Ricky Starks showed up and said he's had a pretty good week. But the thing is, he doesn't necessarily know what he's going to do next, but more so, where am I going to go next?
Well,
or
fucking
so
hell.
You thought.
You don't know
Juice
where...
Robinson dropped him with the left-handed god, and the juice ran loose, and he put up the thing. So, yes, folks, Juice Robinson is still part of Bullet Club, and according to the exclusive, James, I think we're on the verge of a Bullet Club invasion.
Oh, boy. Oh,
with
boy.
Ricky Starks in the crosshairs.
Yeah, Ricky Starks in the crosshairs. You got... listen.
A Bullet Club.
What is going on? What is about to happen?
I have no idea.
Because
I have no idea.
Now we have this going on. We had the full-on Bullet Club music, which Juice Robinson has not been coming out to in the longest time. So that's interesting.
No, he comes out to his own.
Right. But this is the first time we've heard the Bullet Club theme in ages. And now we got Bullet Club theme coming in. So what is going on? What is about to happen?
I swear, we were in California. I swear to God, oh, Lord forgive me. I thought it was going to be Switchblade Jay White. Sydney was there live. She thought it was going to be Switchblade Jay White. But based on what's going on in New Japan, Gator's already put his money into a new leader of Bullet Club. A rebel, David Finlay.
Yeah, well, honestly, I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
Well, by the way, since Jay White's gone, can we get rid of the House of Torture from Bullet Club? Can that be a thing?
I wish. There's still a thing, and they're already effing up the New Japan Cup. Don't get me started with that. Anyway, yeah, Bullet Club, Ricky Starks, Juice Robinson. What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. So it looks like that's going to be the new program. Hey, maybe Jay White does... Hey! Maybe Jay White does come in, and this is just a precursor to Jay White versus Ricky Starks. Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that match, but at this point, I don't know if Jay White even knows where he is after getting shilladed in the head by David Finlay before he could give a send-off in New Japan. So again, Jay White's been MIA ever since. Stay tuned, folks. That being said, we go on from there. Toyo Schiavone is with Warlord, who's wearing some gear given by his friends, a certain 7-star FTR shirt. And while Warlord said he doesn't have any gear, you know what? I don't have anything, so why don't we just do Anything Goes tonight? How's that sound for the TNT Championship match? And so it was made into a false count anywhere match, I believe, for the TNT Championship.
Yep.
Okay. As we move on from there, Ruby Soho was with Renee Paquette, and if Ruby Soho did not feel like there was a sense of euphoria and truly felt like herself in this promo, James, I don't know when I've ever believed or was bought into Ruby Soho more. She owned this segment.
Yeah. Yeah, did she ever. It's crazy. It was really good.
Talking about her entire history, the fact that, again, you can't build a foundation over broken territory. All these AEW homegrowns think they're so high and mighty. I knew I was never going to be accepted in here. Think about it. Grand Slam, I first come in. I face Underbreaker DMD. I lose. And guess what? The fans cheered for that. I lose to one of the homegrowns. And then I beat one of your homegrowns, Chris Statlander. What was the reception? I got booed out of the effing building. And then at Revolution, another one of your originals, Jamie Hayter, pins me, roll up, and I lose out on the championship again. And then you fat neck bearded trolls can't seem to freaking know where Quality Town is in front of your face because all you care about is AEW.
Well, the funny thing is, she goes and says strictly. The fat trolls comment comes and she said, Tony Storm comes in and she doesn't even get the common courtesy to be referred as a full-on champion. She has to fucking have the interim championship title. And then Saraya comes in after years away from a devastating neck injury, and you fat neck bearded virgins can't recognize how she's putting her body on the line just to come back. And I was like, okay, so there's some spiciness. There's some realness to this promo. Okay. She's not wrong either, by the way.
No, she's not. That's the thing. 100% what she said was all fact. So if you can't build up her foundation, what do? You have to destroy it and start from scratch. And speaking of starting from scratch, let's go ahead and bring out my opponent. Another AEW original you've all come to know, even though I still believe she has never had an all-league graphic. As Ruby Soho took on Sky Blue. And again, young, bright, up-and-comer fan Sky Blue. This was a dream scenario for her. For the wrestler Sky Blue, this felt very personal, according to Ruby Soho. In the early going, there was the jump immediately, and she just put the boost to her in the corner, then a step up in Siguri, followed by a big elbow. SCO by Soho gets a 2 count only, though, as she controlled most of this match. Then we got
You're rhyming a lot. You're rhyming a lot, and it's scaring me. You're scaring me. You rhymed so well there, and didn't even realize it. You just...
I mean... Oh.
Yeah, a lot of oh.
I don't think it's rhyming. I think it's coincidental.
There you go.
Anyway, STO, Soho, they're just so close. It did a lot of worse things. Oh, honestly. Anyway, getting back to this match, though. As Sky Blue finally found opening, hits her with an elbow. And a step-up knee strike. Thank you, God. Enziguri by Sky Blue. The way she just floats around with that is always brilliant to me. Crossbody off the top gets a 2 count as Ruby continues to counter forward by... Why do every woman in wrestling do this? Seriously, such a cheap ploy. Hair pull, and then right in the Destination Unknown, this one was over. Your victor was Ruby. And victims was both Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale as Saraya and Toni Storm came down and left their mark on both. After there was no future to Willow, as it looked like Willow was trying to maybe talk some sense into Ruby. What are you doing? I appreciate you. You're a runaway. You're a standout for a reason. You don't need to be like these outcasts, as they're now known. I feel that's the wordplay that was done here, as we didn't hear any words. Bottom line, though, the outcasts, they're now known. That trio, Ruby Soho, Saraya, and Toni Storm, They left their mark, and they are here to burn the foundation of the AEW Women's Division as it's known and recreate in their image by any means necessary.
Man, a lot of the stuff that I've been saying they should be doing is coming to fruition.
Took it long enough, right?
It's starting to come together, man.
Saraya just works better as a heel. Toni Storm's one of those that I'm like, based on attitude, yeah, the heel thing works. Soho, though, she looks like she was born to be a heel, a renegade.
I agree.
This trio dynamic, besides the fact they were in WWE, this trio dynamic for me works perfectly. Although I still think the spray paint things are kind of stupid, but that's just my take.
I agree, but now I don't know. Something about it has made me tolerate it now that Ruby cut that promo. So it is what it is. This is what I think, though.
I suppose
they're starting to slowly go in a direction now. So when do we start seeing Thunder Rosa come in and they do the 6-woman tag at Double or Nothing or the show before Double or Nothing? When do they go and start involving the JAS girls? Well, hopefully they're cleared, fingers crossed, and get them involved.
Well, it's funny it's funny you mentioned that because while I'm not going to be able to go due to funds, Parades for Passions, this Saturday at the first AEW house show in Troy, Ohio, it's Tiebreaker DMD versus Anna JAS.
Aha. Ho. And let me tell you something, people. For those who think, oh, the house show, that's not a thing. They don't go by things. I'm telling you, with AEW house shows, when AEW starts doing stuff, especially for house shows in front of a crowd like that, they don't do it for no reason. In fact, there was stuff that they actually built in the first house show they ever did. I think the show was called The House Always Wins, and they aired footage of that on Dynamite.
Yep.
Pay attention to whatever the fuck goes on that match in the house show, because I think there's going to be some subtle building blocks there for what I've been predicting for a while now is going to be the female blood and guts match. I'm telling you, everything is aligning perfectly. Now Willow Nightingale's getting involved. I'm sure we're going to get, Hikaru Shida coming back and Thunder Rosa coming back. And then JAS girls are coming back slowly but surely. That's going to be big. This is going to be a big match that I think a lot of people are going to talk about for a long time.
My fellow Ohioans who are all late, have a great time at that house show, and please take notes. That being said, let's take note of these 3 quick promos. Renee Paquette was with Heyman Page, who simply said he was done with John Moxley after the Texas Death Match. Thank Christ.
Or he tried to
said
be.
If anyone wants a piece of him, he will... Well, as we'll talk about. If anyone wants a piece of him, he will take them to hell. Tony Schiavone was then in the ring, welcoming back the top guys, FTR, who basically talked about how 2022 was the best wrestling year of their life, and 2023 may very well be one of their worst, as they lost 3 sets of titles in back-to-back synergy, but also, a month later, lost their best friend in Jay Briscoe, them boy forever in heaven. But he couldn't sit at home in good conscience watching the As Boys call themselves the best tag team in the world. Because FTR, particularly Dax, cares about the fans. And the fans, including us, have never left FTR's side. We love FTR, we support, we respect them, and at this point, they've ruined the memory of the last match that FTR had with the Briscoes, should we forget. Time for retribution. Top guys wants those tag straps back. Are we looking at future 2-time AEW World Tag Team Champions? As boys, you've been put on notice. Top guys are back. Top guys out. And before I give it to you to talk about these 2 promos, there was one more. Simply put, that bitch, Renee Paquette, was with Jay Cargill, who says that she's ran through every woman in America. And she's honestly right. So she issues an open challenge to whack-ass Canadian next week in Winnipeg. So what can Canada offer against that bitch? The best? The most experienced? The most seasoned? The most local? The most surprising? I don't know. James, you're following these 3 promos.
Okay, what was the first promo? Because you talked about FTR. What was the...
Heyman Page.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one. I loved how Hangman said, Hangman said, you want to fucking take me to that place? I'll take you there. I think this is a subtle build-up to an eventual matchup between him and Punk, by the way. Eventually, when Punk returns. That's going to be interesting where they go with that. The other thing I got to also say is, like... I really love this FTR promo. I really do. Like, the way that they were able to make me care about seeing this match between the Guns and FTR, like...
Exactly.
Just the words they did. I mean, dude, the FTRs are like magicians on the stick, bro. Honestly, they really are. I love this promo. There was so much passion behind these guys, and they added some realism to it. It was so good. And the tag team division, again, we know it was on lockdown. It was waning a little bit because a lot of the teams were in the trios. But now with FTR coming back, feels like we get a complete tag division as well as a complete trios division. So that's really nice.
Right.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens at Double or Nothing, or maybe even sooner than that. They honestly could. They could honestly lose it at Battle of the Belt 6, and I would not complain. Especially, again, if they lose it at Battle of the Belt 6, and I even recommended it, then we get FTR versus Young Bucks 3. And yes, please. I totally want that match, please. And hell, while you're at it, if you're booking like, rubber matches and dream matches, why don't we get the second installment of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega on that show for the U.S. title? Let's just fucking put that on there.
It wouldn't be the first time the Young Bucks went triple or nothing.
Just saying. And then, yeah, man, fuck. Gonna be interesting stuff going on for Double or Nothing. I really the build hasn't even really like truly started yet, and I'm already liking that they started doing subtle builds for everything. Like, keep in mind, this is probably the busiest time coming up for AEW too, because you gotta imagine they got this coming up with Double or Nothing. Battle of the Belts is also going to be coming up. You're gonna have Blood and Guts after that. Then you're gonna have Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen all that week. Oh boy, watch parties galore on that week. And then you're gonna have all sorts of shit going on. So just imagine like what they could honest to God do for the actual build-up as they keep marching forward here. They already started like teasing the subtle things, big and small, and I'm really liking that. It reminds me of old school AEW, I guess. It's so weird that I'm saying that. Old school AEW, they've been around for like 4 years. But no, like...
Again, I can't stress it enough. This is still the youngest player mainstream in the game. And continue. And
AEW, man, they know how to like weave the intricate like details and storylines when they really put their mind
narratives, yes.
Yeah. And I'm loving that. And then what was the other thing?
Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah, Jade Cargill. Okay, so that's the thing I'm gonna go on to Google for. Hold on, I'm gonna just do a quick little a quick little thing. We're gonna play guess the Canadian female wrestler. That's the game we're gonna be playing today. Hold on.
How can you guess if
female wrestlers in Canada? You're about to find out.
Well, let's see. I know there's Lufisto. I know there's Jodie Fred, because I know she took on Athena one time.
Chelsea Green and others.
Okay. Well, can you speak, by the way?
Taya Valkyrie.
Ooh. Okay, so there is, that's actually a big one. Okay, so professional Canadian wrestlers. Natalia's out. Taya Valkyrie, Angelina Love, Gail Kim. I would actually be shocked if Gail Kim would come out of retirement.
Nah.
Aaliyah, even if she wasn't in WWE, doubt it. Rosemary, believe it or not, is from Canada. Allison
Courtney Rush.
Allison Danger.
Oh, Allison Danger.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Dark one time.
She was. Taylor Wilde. Lufisto.
That's right. I said Lufisto.
Yep. So probably Lufisto. Lufisto is probably a strong shout. Catherine Power, just for the fucking, her name is Cat Power, and she has muscles for days. I'm just by
I
one
think she
look
was
of
on
her.
Dark one time as well. She was
Yeah.
one that was like, who is this?
Yeah. Melina Cortez, another
Some of these names right.
Melissa
Yeah, Cortez.
Cortez, or yeah.
Okay, I don't remember her if she was on the Canadian Dark. You know they're gonna have a lot of Canadian talent, male and female, in the Dark Elevations.
Yeah,
No
that's
doubt.
yeah, probably. There is and then the last few names that I'm seeing here that I could see legitimately.
Don't say the bunny. She's still recovering.
Yeah. No, not the bunny. Um,
Damn it.
the only other names that I could see are former Ring of Honor star Jade Chung. And
Married, of course, to Josh Alexander. I think she's pretty much retired.
oh yeah, okay, so she's retired then. And Casey Spinell.
Casey Spinell. Oh yeah, Casey Spinell. I forgot about her. And she used to be on Smash Wrestling. I remember one time seeing a match between her, Rosemary, and Allie. So there's some prolific names there, but Taya Valkyrie. Here's the thing. Johnny Elite did show up one time to take on Samoa Joe, I believe, for the TNT Championship. Or what was that? Joe's just Dynamite. I don't remember. But John Hennigan is now in MLW. Gotta get the initials right there. And he's a champion there, thanks to Taya Cueto. Taya Valkyrie, I believe, is still a champion there in MLW as well. And I think she was last feuded with Billy Starks. But Taya Valkyrie is not a bad shout out to test Jade Cargill. The question is, in Canada, in Bizarro World, on a Dynamite, when she's already over 50 wins plus, her first real prolific match in a long time, is that where you finally break the bitch's streak?
I would not.
Or is there still so much stock still in her? Again, I don't know if they booked themselves in a corner here, or is this just, showcasing the title?
I'll tell you right now, if Taya Valkyrie shows up, and as we all know, and maybe this audience doesn't know this, but God bless Taya Valkyrie, but she's definitely taking the loss.
For more reasons than one.
Yes,
but continue.
many more reasons than one. But yeah, she's definitely losing if she does go. I think the idea is she's going to put over that talent, and she's going to make them look better in the process. But Taya Valkyrie and Jade Cargill on TV is a great fucking showcase match for Jade. And I think a lot of people will actually pay attention to what Jade can do if she fights somebody like a Taya Valkyrie. Again, they said it on Dark this week. Iron sharpens iron, right? Can't get better unless you go in with some of the very best. So there you go.
Alright, none. Well, again, we'll know soon enough. As we move on from there, speaking of, again, what we'll know soon enough, it was trios action, as AR Fox and Top Flight took on the Jericho Appreciation Societies. Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and Sammy Guevara. I almost transposed Guevara's last name and Daniel's last name, so that's just how much those almost run together. And we did get our typical pose at one point as the Sex Gods and everybody from the JAS photobomb your typical Kodak moment pose as a Chris Jericho match with Sammy does with added parties. But AR Fox and Dante, they basically took this match to high velocity, and even with distractions on the outside of the ring from Angelo Parker and I don't think Jake Hager was there because I don't think I remember his stupid bucket. Oh, no, yeah, Hager was there because that stupid hat. Anyway, as this match really picked things up here, JS corners Darius. Darius escapes to the top rope, catches Jericho with a crossbody, and then Guevara comes in with a tag. Darius, Taz, and Fox. Things really picked up from there. Pair of clotheslines by Fox. Fox cutter to Garcia. AR Fox, one-man wrecking crew at one point, as he usually seems to be for this tandem trio. Good grief. Catches both Guevara and Garcia with springboard cutters from the middle rope, and then German suplex by Darius, gets a 2 count. Garcia then goes with the headed clap, tags Jericho, who runs with the Spanish fly by Darius. Pele kick off the middle rope by Darius, gets a 2 count here. Again, tandem tag team offense. Chris Jericho trying to bounce back from what happened, of course, at Revolution. As Dante takes Garcia out with another suicide dive, imploding senton. That's when AR Fox does the reversal.
Yes, the reverse senton.
I don't know how he does that, by the way. Turns his body outside in off the rope. That is ridiculous.
He's
all right?
so good with
Absolutely ridiculous.
So good with this.
Yeah, and flawlessly every time. Takes everybody out on the outside. Jericho, though, catching a leaping Darius in the walls of Jericho, but Darius able to roll through for the 2 count. A thrust kick, though, by Darius bends Jericho over, but Aubrey Edwards gets distracted, and behind Aubrey's back, as Darius looked to take advantage, he got whacked with Floyd the baseball bat, courtesy of one big hoss, Jake Hager, who then stumbles into a Judas effect. And the JAS picks up the win. Now, here's the thing. Hi, Jeff. I knew the JS was going to win here for 2 reasons. 1, Chris Jericho. He's rebounding off of Illusion. 2, there's something going on clearly with the dynamic of Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia. We've seen it transpire a little bit during Rampage, particularly last week with that whole shirt thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's also here's what I did not expect, though, and I didn't think about this before I remembered. Oh, that's right. Next week, they're in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. That's not just the hometown of one Chris Jericho. That's the hometown of one Kenny Omega. And then I forgot a third person who basically just chastised Jericho where he stood. Because basically JAS said that we are the most effective trio in all Elite Wrestling. And we should be known as the number 1 contenders for the AEW World Trios Championships. Before the Elites came in and the carry-on got cut off immediately, because Kenny Omega took issue with what Jericho said about the Trios Championships. Of all people to play mediator during this, the guy that you could say instigated Wrestle Kingdom 12, Omega versus Alpha. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Don Callis, who basically talks about how Chris Jericho, you are a phenomenal athlete.
Here's the thing. Kenny Omega starts the promo off and he says, since we started this whole thing, I've stayed out of your business. You stayed out of ours up until this moment, and I thought that was out of a sign of respect. But now you're involving yourself in our business. Then Don Callis comes out and says, Omega, let me handle this. And then he goes and says,
as he does.
You see, Jericho, you are one of the greatest of all time. In fact, without you, AEW isn't a thing. But the problem is you're only the second best wrestler from Winnipeg. And in fact, if I were to get myself in training shape, you'd only be you would easily be the third. And Jericho looked pissed off. He's so pissed off. Why don't you get your little goons out and we'll have a fight here right now, right? And then the House of Black came out.
The House, right? Well, they didn't come out. They came up on the Titantron. Says both of you trios are worthy and deserve to be humiliated in your hometown. So next week, if you want these titles, Black.
Hold on, wait.
And there they are.
Hold on. I got a gimmick. Wait, I got a gimmick. Next time, if you guys want this, clap on. Clap on. Come take them.
Come. And the stare down between these 3 trios. I love the fact, by the way, that the House of Black were literally looking at both sides, half and half.
Oh, wait.
Of course, included.
Clap.
And then
clap off. Clap on. And then they're disappearing.
As the Elite and the JAS tirade each other from a distance, and it was made official in what I'm simply calling Triple Threat Tag Trios Turmoil. Yep. 9-person dance for the AEW Trios Championships between the House of Black, Kenny Omega, the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Society. Good Lord Almighty, this is going to be insane.
For anybody that wants to tell me Trios Wrestling doesn't work, look at this matchup. You got Kenny Omega, Malachi Black, Chris Jericho, 3 big-time stars, right? You got Buddy Matthews, who's really good. You got the Young Bucks, who are the best tag team in the game. You got Sammy Guevara, who's a pillar in the fucking show. You got Daniel Garcia, who's a young uprising star and an AEW original of the 2nd year. And you got Brody King, who's a fucking powerhouse. You look at this matchup, and you tell me, trios don't work. Shut the fuck up. Just shut you up real quick.
If I were to say one thing about this match, I kind of wish Jake Hager was one of the representatives to just clash with Brody King.
Yeah, but I'm glad he's not though, because it would. I feel like there's a natural chemistry between this version of the Jericho Appreciation Society. There really is. I know it won't last long, but this was the best choice because, dude, adding Jericho to this match is like icing on the cake. It's already star-studded. Now you're just adding Jericho to the frickin' filet mignon.
Yep.
Like, this is really nice. This is a really nice trios match. If you're gonna do booking like that, this is the way you do it, man. You lay out everything. You got some of the biggest stars. You got a lot of history between a lot of these guys. This is nice. I appreciate this. Very, very well done.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. And as we talked about subtly earlier, Tony Khan with his announcement. How many times did he repeat himself, by the way? I'm pretty sure he got lost in thought. As he said that Orange Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett will be for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, but it'll be the last defense of this title in name, because in conjunction with Warner Bros. Discovery, the title will now be referred to as the AEW International title as we level up and associated with Shazam Fury of the Gods, which means next week it will be Orange Cassidy defending the AEW International Championship against Jeff Jarrett. As we move on from that quick promo before you... Go ahead.
I have to. I'm sorry. I understand having some corporate...
I was trying to avoid it, but go ahead.
I understand having some corporate synergy. What the fuck does Shazam have anything to do with Fury of the Gods? Like, if you wanted to fucking have...
That's the name of the movie.
If you wanted to have Black Adam involved in that, okay, at least he's Greek. Shazam's American! What the fuck are you talking about here? Fucking in conjunction with Shazam. Yeah, because that's... When I think of international, I think of a DC Comics American superhero, Shazam. Fucking, come on.
Taking on gods.
Oh my
Greek
god.
mythology.
Dude, come on. At least try to make sense.
That's the Marvel Universe.
You're working with fucking Discovery. Find an international thing. They're going to fucking Alaska for crying out loud. I don't know. Get Deadliest Cats to fucking sponsor this shit or something. I don't know. Fucking fish. You know, they're international
Marvel
fish.
DC.
At least they
Oh, God.
fucking Shazam. Shazam. Yeah, that makes
Oh, wait,
all the
that's
sense in the
wait.
world.
Okay, here's how stupid I am. Is Shazam DC or Marvel?
DC.
Okay.
See, it's
that makes sense.
It's
Warner's with the
confusing
Titans
because you remember that there was a Captain Marvel in DC as well, but the thing is they had to change that because of legality. So that's why he's Shazam now.
Oh God, it's so stupid.
It's such a I know. I
don't even watch these movies. This universe is so stupid.
Well, dude, DC is fucking ridiculous. At least Marvel's makes sense.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation for another podcast.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
looking at you, Justice League. By the way, Batman vs Superman. Fucking.
Oh God, you had to bring that shit up.
Because
meanwhile,
you know, Superman and Batman would totally kill a bunch of innocents by flying into buildings. Fucking anyway.
Only in Injustice 2, where that game was rated T for teen, and it was brutality and not fatality. The background says.
Well, no, in a game it makes sense because people are just gonna naturally do that. But you know, anyway, fucking subtangent aside. Fucking hell.
Yeah, massive subtangent. Jesus. Well,
this is what happens when you fucking have corporate synergy that makes no goddamn sense, Tony. Pay attention.
Corporate synergy that just wakes its way to a pending tragedy, it seems. Oi. Well, from tragedy to maybe humility to maybe sympathy. This promo, damn. Bryan Danielson.
Dude, holy
what a reflection.
Shit.
He always thought he was doing this not just for his love of the business, but for his kids.
Oh, by the way,
MJF, go ahead.
Before we even talk about Daniel, MJF cut a promo. I don't even know if we went over this, but MJF cut a promo, and he was...
I don't know if he cut a promo yet on the show, actually.
No, he did. He did. This was because Danielson was after his. So, MJF, he's talking about how he was the best wrestler. I don't want to hear how people said, I'm not the best wrestler anymore. Now I could rest easy. People know how good I am. And you know what I'm going to do next week on Dynamite? I'm going to have my bar mitzvah. And I'm like, oh no. All right, here we go. Oh boy.
For some reason that's not in the notes. Well, this publication botched. Oh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Thank you for that.
So yeah, MJF.
For some reason, I thought MJF was after this.
No, he was before this, and he literally says like he's the best in the world. He showed what he could do.
Who's gonna argue?
Which, by the way,
who's gonna fucking argue?
If you notice, he still had the blood on him. This motherfucker is, I swear to God, he's the workhorse of the entire company. He might be the workhorse of the entire industry. This dude went an hour plus, and he's doing promos for the scrum and after the scrum.
Yep.
He's not human, people. The dude was bleeding profusely. Like, uncomfortably bleeding. And the dude's cutting 2 promos, barely even winded afterwards.
"26-year-old prodigy, generational talent."
Bro,
and
he's my fucking age. Practically. I feel lazy watching him. Like, seriously.
You and probably everybody else that literally sits from their seat as a fan wearing a Burberry scarf.
Yeah, man. Like, goated MJF, man. Like, I know he doesn't need a fucking fat neck bearded virgin. Ironically, it's true this time. Fucking telling him he's good. But I'm telling you, man, he's fucking great. He's so goddamn... Like, this guy is up there with the top names in the industry right now and of all time. He's so damn good at what he does. Nobody can touch what this guy has done. He's a fucking marvel, dude. Funny, because Shazam got the Marvel. Nice. Anyway.
He's going to be involved in Practical Joker, so, he's getting
Ooh.
attention. I feel like...
I want to see that, by the way. I saw previews and I'm like, oh, I gotta see this episode now. I gotta see what he does on this fucking show. I am a fan of Impractical Jokers, by the way. In fact, I got a fucking board game that I never opened. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I actually have an Impractical Jokers thing I got for Christmas. That's how much I love him. So there you go.
Nice. Hey, respect. And I feel like Danielson was humbled and respected MJF, and he said MJF was right, because truly he had nothing left. He couldn't feel his arm. He couldn't feel his leg, and it was at that moment he realized that he was putting himself before his family, because that was more shameful than tapping. Because think about, okay, I keep fighting. Maybe my body can bear a championship, but what if I can't bear my own children? At this point, I think it's time for me to go home. I feel there's more value in those words than meets the eye. Bryan Danielson has been humbled.
Bro, that was such a great little promo. It was sad, but there was, it validated the heel, which made you pissed off. And you want to see him get his ass kicked. And then you had a sympathetic babyface here.
You did.
They might run this shit back this year. Fucking God. Really? Could you imagine? They actually run this back. Hell, in 2024, close to 2024 in his last week of the company, what if that's Danielson's moment? They could seriously be running this back, and that might be the end game here. It might be Danielson getting the belt from MJF by the end of this. Because they holy shit, bro. They fucking, that one little promo left a lot to be desired. I want to see how they tell the story.
Exactly.
That's fucking masterful, man. These guys are magicians on the mic, in the ring, and I don't think people realize it. They had a fucking 60-minute Iron Man match. Where do you go from here? I guess we find out sooner rather than later. But holy shit.
I mean, look, I'm just going to say this. Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada went 60 minutes draw. These guys determined themselves in an Iron Man match, and Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada determined themselves in a match with no time limit. That was 2 out of 3 falls.
That match has to happen. I know a lot of people have their reservations about Kenny after the brawl out shit. Fuck all that. Put that to the wayside. That match has to happen. Kenny and Max have to happen. It has to happen. Like, there has to be a match to build
It
into.
says we got our focus back. Just saying.
Yeah, for
We're
real.
in Canada. What if, I said, what if the Trios Championship match happens first? The house always wins. And we have MJF v. Bar Mitzvah later. And he gets endorsed and interrupted by one invisible hand. Boom. I'm just saying.
Could happen.
Keep in mind, James.
Could happen.
One of the tapings coming up for Dynamite is in Long Island, New York.
Oh, we know. Either way.
The bizarre world in AEW. Get ready, folks.
It's going to be a fun few weeks, man. I'm telling you. It's starting.
Bottom line is this.
Just wrap it up.
MJF is the champion to follow in this industry.
Yeah, and Danielson put him over huge, dude. Like, just this promo alone, he put him over huge. He already put him over huge on the pay-per-view, man. But, like, I said it even on the call for Revolution, which, by the way, I linked into the chat if you want to go watch it. I said he tapped out because he realized he needed to be there for his kids. He had to tap.
Damn
Otherwise,
right.
MJF would have been right, and he would have been crippled. And that would have been the end of his career and his time to be able to hold his kids and walk. That was fucking impactful. And he said that, and he just put over the heel as the biggest prick in the entire world, which is great, because that means people will pay to see him get his ass kicked. They have made a star out of this kid. They really have made a star out of this kid, man. Like,
and we'll see how this star celebrates himself in the Rebar Mitzvah soon enough.
Yeah, bro. There is no glass ceiling for Max, man. Like, even when he loses this title, man, this is generational type run here. Like, he is a Hall of Famer already at 26 years old. He hasn't even been through his full reign yet. And dude's 26. Imagine what his career is going to look like at 46. 20 years down the goddamn line. And he's already had a Hall of Fame run in AEW. Like, seriously. Anyway, sorry.
I can say is stay tuned.
There you go.
Oh, you're good, man. Again, that's what it means to be passionate about this friggin' thing. You know that? I appreciate it. You know I'm all about that. I'm all about you going all out in AEW. That's what we do here. Speaking of going all out, we learned how pissed off John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli are as they took on the Dark Order, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. And for what I expected, yeah, it was a tag team match, and it was physical. Duh. And violent. And, of course, to go down the line a little bit here, European uppercuts by Claudio. John Silver. I need John Silver versus Claudio Castagnoli one-on-one.
Yes.
Stand by that until it happens.
Ring of Honor. Book it for Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor World Title, please.
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Alex Reynolds gets tagged in and basically clears out everything. Pair back elbow strikes, rolling elbow to Claudio, and a suicide dive to John Moxley. Dark Order in control in the early going. But Moxley still roughed up in the Texas Death Match. Gee, shocker, right? Alex Reynolds on the outside right before throwing him back inside. And Claudio, though, comes back in, wearing him down during the restaurant quality. Excuse me, not that. Picture in picture, although there's probably some sort of pizza commercial that would make it do that.
Restaurant quality burp.
That JR wasn't on commentary, by the way. Claudio charges into Reynolds in the corner, but misses at big knee and sends him to the floor. Again, Claudio's own momentum, way too much. Whoop, over the top, bossy. Claudio rebounds, though, before Reynolds can finally make the tag to John Silver, but a double stomp by Reynolds finally allows Johnny Hungy with the hot tag, and the human ball of energy cannonball just goes running roughshod. Roundhouse kicks John Moxley, followed by a pump kick, then a pump kick to the back of the head, and a German suplex for a 2 count. The explosive nature of John Silver. This guy is more powerful than his girth actually does justice on television. Just saying. Big, powerful double leg and some ground and pound triangle choke, though, by John Moxley. But Silver somehow finds his way to fight back. and counters through into a crossface of a different sort, almost like it was wrapping him up a little bit. Again, very, very resourceful. Knees now by Silver, but Claudio breaks it up. Then the European uppercuts are the difference maker here, and Claudio is pissed. Claudio charges into Silver, but Reynolds elevates him into a European from John Silver. I don't care who you are, you don't freaking uppercut Claudio and not get a receipt from it. John Moxley blocks the stunner, grabs the rear naked choke before turning it into a half-and-half suplex. Then Claudio tosses Silver to the outside as Moxley finishes him off with that rear naked choke, D-arc choke, because his body is so freaking high elevated. And then he holds on to it for continuation after the bell. And Claudio's like, yeah, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, all right? As John Moxley basically just holds on to it for a long stay of time. Here comes the Hangman for the save. As basically, Page at this point, he looks on. Claudio, I don't know what Claudio was doing here or something like that, but then Claudio got dunked. And the entire Blackpool Combat Club, because Wheeler Yuta came down, by the way, basically obliterated the Hangman and the accompanying men. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blackpool Combat Club are full-fledged heels, and they don't give a damn. This thing is not over between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Dark Order. It's escalating.
It's really crazy to see how all this is playing out too. Because and this is how I see this going. I think the reason why the Blackpool Combat Club are being very heelish, at least right now, is because Moxley and basically the Blackpool Combat Club, really think about this. They lost one of their own. He went home. Danielson's gone.
Yeah.
I think that's affected their psyche a little bit, and I think that's going to play into the eventual Hangman versus MJF match, which we hopefully get at Double or Nothing, by the way. I think that's going to play in a lot more than people fucking realize here. I do. I think MJF, because the way I see this is, right now it's going to be, the Dark Order versus, fucking Blackpool Combat Club, and then there's going to be another match between Hangman and Jon Moxley, probably unsanctioned, right? And it's going to be the final match, and MJF is just going to eat popcorn, watching the two disintegrate each other, just to be a dick, right? And that's going to be all that it needs for it to be Hangman be like, you fucking caused this shit to go out of hand the way it did. And he's going to fucking go after him. I think that little element is going to add that fuel to the rivalry that's already there. I think, anyway.
If they build Kenny Omega versus MJF for Double or Nothing and then subtend into a lights-out match of Double or Nothing between Jon Moxley and Heyman to finish things once for all, and that decides Heyman as the next challenger for MJF heading into All Out, I think that's a fair take considering All Out. Heyman had his chance to become the first ever AEW World Champion and fell short.
Well, I don't even think the unsanctioned match will take place. I'm thinking you do Hangman versus MJF.
Oh.
At Double or Nothing. I think the unsanctioned match
that's what I was
takes
figuring
place
originally
on
too,
TV.
but I thought, Hey, I was figuring that too, but I thought you were going to a different subject, because at this point, I almost wonder if they are going to do Dark Order versus Blackpool Combat Club, Blood and Guts. Or are they going to do another Anarchy in the Arena match with them? Again, different sub-tangents, but still. They are in the same arena for last year's Double or Nothing this year, just saying.
True, and think about this too. Some of the people that MJF called out on the list we aired like ages ago on Open Mic Night too. Some of the people he named were Mr. Clean Castagnoli and Sensitive Cowboy, aka Hangman. So you don't think that Max wouldn't come in here and just start eating popcorn as they're fucking destroying each other? Goddamn, I don't have to do a goddamn thing. And just eating.
Just being in the skybox.
Just laughing at the demise. I can see him doing that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'm not seeing. I don't see the Acclaim becoming strictly a duo to entertain. As we went backstage, the Acclaim were from Nate Paquette, and it seems that Jericho Society are in a recruiting state. Once again, as Matt Menard and Andrew Parker came in, Matt Menard said he loves rap music, and Parker invites the Acclaim to join the JAS. They laugh that off, they walk away.
Dude,
so it looks like a sub-tier for the Acclaim.
They buried my boys! Why did you do this? They just laughed at me.
Come on,
faces.
man. You know
Oh my god.
They set themselves up for that.
I
Alright,
know,
this
I
goes up
know.
for that, I'm
What?
just saying.
Fuck me, man. Leave Matt Menard alone. He's a national treasure.
Oh, God.
You know what?
Well, I'm sure you love his voice on AEW Dark Elevation every week, Monday
Did
night.
you know that rap music makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard?
Anyway, we'll find out what that means going forward soon enough. But before we talk about that Dynamite main event, allow me to bring you up to speed with what y'all got ahead this week on AEW Dynamite as I give you now the typical Excalibur-esque rundown. And somehow I still have a voice, but again, I am me. Of course, this week's AEW Dynamite comes to us for the first time ever from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and the following has been made. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy with Danhausen in the corner, coming in with a bad knee. Will defend the AEW, now christened International Championship against Jeff Jarrett. And it wouldn't surprise me if his company is banned once again, but he still has that equalizer in hand, or underneath the ring. We also will hear from the Outcasts. They're now known: Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, and Saraya. MJF will have his re-bar mitzvah celebration, whatever the hell that means. It will be Heyman Rampage with the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson, Canada's own, taking on the entirety of the Blackpool Combat Club. Clara Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Willa Yuta. Jay Cargill has called out the best of Canada to challenge her for the TBS Championship. And of course, we have AEW World Trios Championship match triple threat as the Elite and the German Society look to take the gold against the House of Black. And something else is also going to unfold regarding what we're about to tell you about this main event. Because spoiler alert, stay tuned for the debut of QTV, courtesy of one QT Marshall and Powerhouse Hobbs, because this match was fun to watch. It was Falls Count Anywhere, which still confuses people to this day, because last time I'm checking, 10 counts don't apply to Falls Count Anywhere, but I guess they do. But anyway,
I guess
the
the rules are different in Falls Count Anywhere in AEW. I guess it.
guess so.
Here's the problem. What is Texas Death?
Right.
It's the same rules.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So yeah, yeah. It's basically a street fight here, folks. They literally were fighting on a car.
It was just a Texas Death match. No, I'm just gonna call it what it was. It's Texas Death.
I mean, they put each other through a truck trailer at one point. What the hell? And then garbage can shots to the back of Warlords. They finally make their way outside to the arena. A spine buster onto the freaking ramp. Damn, it looked like it sucked. Hobbs tosses Warlord into the steel guardrails. Warlord, hey, here's your crowd engagement. Drink in the face, goes off the top, senton through a damn table.
Bro, holy
Warlord,
shit.
you are a freak.
Dude,
Golly.
he fucking laid that shit into.
Planted. Is the most emphatic word. Plant. Well, you talk about laying it in. How about the powerbomb on the ramp?
Yeah, that was a fucking brutal ass powerbomb. He just stiffed him, bro. That was so brutal. I don't know.
How did Hobbs get up from that? I don't know. As we go to the end of the stage and we look for a problem symphony, this is the first time I can remember a match going literally in front of that announce table. Out of nowhere,
I would not want to. I bet you nobody will take a bump on that mahogany table. Mahogany. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I guarantee you that table don't have no damn give.
No.
Back chair, low blow, another chair shot this time to the head as QT and Hobbs duo super powerbomb Warlord off the stage through a partition, and Warlord is counted down by Paul Turner for a count of 10. And yes, folks, Warlord is not only the shortest ever reigning, but Powerhouse Hobbs is for the first time ever your new TNT champion. And that is how the show goes off the air. I don't know what Khan was thinking when he did this at the expense of Wardlow in the way that he did.
I think it's to build a rematch number one. I don't know where they go with him from there.
Probably a fair sub-tangent.
But they're also probably going to build up him versus MJF at some point, and so they wanted them to lose the TNT title at some point. I don't think this will be the end of the feud between Wardlow and Hobbs. I think they're going to have more of a definitive loss for Wardlow. Maybe some cheating shenanigans, if you will. Probably somehow, some way. But I think that's the way they're going to go about it. I think the reason they did it this way is because it was realistically with the story they told, and it's going to be told more on TV, It was the only way to make
Really?
Wardlow legitimately lose and for it to make sense after winning the TNT title not only a few days prior. Because that way it keeps Wardlow still looking strong. Because he does still look strong. He got counted down for 10. He didn't necessarily get his shoulders pinned in the mat. Which is, I guess, why they did the also knockout stipulation as well, if you couldn't answer the count of 10.
Fair.
And, you know, fucking QT was the one who stole all of his shit. Which is why he was wearing street clothes. So it all made sense, too.
I mean,
and actually...
Nothing was confessed.
Yeah, and he said, and he screamed, and even Taz saw him scream it, my word is my bond. So the whole time, he was trying to repay Will Hobbs and give him that belt. So they retold that storyline. When the fuck did they tell that? During Forbidden Door last year, I think?
Yeah, it was during last year's summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's some pretty good way to fucking... That was a good way to fucking reintroduce QT, to be fair. You know, have him get some heat by helping Will Hobbs get the belt. Fair enough. Fair enough,
see what
man.
happens this week on the first edition of QTV.
There you go.
We'll see if your words come to fruition. As we go into
how else did he get the TNT title? Think about it. It was in the car. Wardlow got his shit broken into. You do know that, right?
There's a replica on the table, and we'll see what QTV shows us. But yeah, you know, kayfabe.
Yeah. That's
again, our decision, unique booking. Again, definitely was not the way I expected the finish to go. But you know what? We'll see what it brings. And now Wardlow has a whole nother reason to be pissed off. But again, people can say what they want about the TNT title. That's a whole different subject. We'll definitely talk more about that once we see the outcome of QTV. Meanwhile, speaking of outcomes, let's look at this outcome between Sammy Guevara and Action Andretti as they finally face each other one-on-one for the first time. Took them long enough, Jesus. After the madness in that ladder match, and of course, bombarding the man back at freaking Revolution. What would you call this? Your aerial opener, because these men basically flew all over the place. At one point, Guevara was catapulted to the outside, falls up with a clothesline Andretti does, who gets caught by an anti-air knee by Guevara, damn, and then falls through, for the rest of our quality, picture-in-picture. Before we get a baseball slide attempt, Andretti answers back with bat-breaker, net-breaker combination. Good combo move, by the way, he uses. And then comes in off of a press, and then rolls Guevara in the ring, comes off the top of the 450, but only gets a 2 count. As this match continues forward, and Chris Jericho, of course, on commentary. There's a nice running shooting star by Andretti, but he catches knees. That's the way he beat Chris Jericho, by the way, folks. Pump handle over to the top DDT by Guevara, but Andretti rolls to the outside. Great awareness or divine intervention, you tell me. Meanwhile, Andretti gets the upper hand as this match goes forward. He puts Guevara up on a table, comes off the top rope. Huge dive through the damn table. And he brings Guevara eventually back into the ring. Goes for broke again, but Daniel Garcia, Jericho Society, never rolls alone. Throws Andretti off the top rope, and literally he gets perched as Guevara distracts the referee and sets him up for the GTH and gets the 3. Again, Jericho Society, you can't overcome the numbers. They always work against you. Good opener, good pace time for Action Andretti. Sammy, indifferent or not reaction, he's a hell of an in-ring worker. And this also hypes up the fact that Dan Garcia and Sammy Guevara are on the same page, and those two in Jericho plan to take the trios titles. A fun way to start Rampage.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. We definitely, I would say out of the 2 matches they have had, I would say the one from a couple weeks back was better, or was it last week? I don't remember.
I think it was singles go between these two.
Yeah. I think it was last week.
I don't know if they actually.
Wow, that could be wrong.
It might have been. I know he's faced Daniel Garcia before. I can't remember. It's just the Sammy, Danny, Sammy action. The same 3 people in the same triangle. Good grief.
Yeah, right.
But
well,
yeah.
Hey, you never know. He might still join the Jericho Appreciation Society. Although, I don't know if he does or not.
Don't put that out in the ether.
Well, the only reason I say that, he might not. But I wonder if he's not going to join. Here's my question: if he's not joining, why is Jericho complimenting him? Why is he putting him over as hard as he is? He's a heel.
Playing double standard on commentary.
But he's a heel.
Double standard.
Okay.
And
Whatever.
Jericho can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, except commentary. I say it all the time. Just stop commentary. I thought there was a point this time. It turns out Jericho might have just been fucking doing the opposite. For some reason, he's a heel when he's a babyface on commentary. Or no, he's a heel when he's a heel on the show. He's a babyface on commentary. Switching it up, if he's a babyface in the ring, he's a heel on commentary. Make up your fucking mind.
Yeah, he plays both sides. Double standard.
I hate it.
Oh, brother. All right. Well, we'll see if that eventually gets figured out. Speaking of figuring out what the hell he means, we almost forgot to talk about this. I'm surprised they didn't talk about this. Maybe that means it's going to be on Rampage. Remember Darby Allin? He's coming back, and he plans to go out in a blaze of glory. He didn't say when. He didn't say how. But Darby Allin is about to do something stupid.
Can you go for the world title? Stop saying you don't want to go for the world title. I get you really like the TNT title.
I'm just saying that.
Stop it.
Saying that the full gear. I'm just saying a full gear opening match 2021. Just saying.
I know.
Just saying.
Revisit that. Actually, isn't that one of the members that fucking MJF said that he wouldn't face? Like, go for
on that list?
Yes. So go for the world title.
Speaking of that list, there was another member on that list that you might be very well aware of that already has said he is looking for a title. But he's not sure which one. Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Something tells me these two are going to have a one-on-one confrontation with big implications, and I am all for it.
I agree.
Why else would they have these two back-to-back? Just saying.
I agree. Man, this AEW has a lot of nice young talent that are champions, huh? Nice.
And a lot of people that are worthy of challenging for the champion of the same demographic.
There you go. That's how you build a roster.
This was what? Yeah, but I don't know if this actually helps the Acclaim, or is this just another reason why people just get to have fun and scissor? Because quicker than I take a cup of coffee.
Pissed that Jack Cartwheel got jobbed here after the match he had on Dark. This makes me mad.
Thank you, James. Yeah,
I am so mad.
Yes.
What the fuck? Who the hell is the jabron that he teamed up with? I think it's all his fault. The fucking...
To be fair...
Dude, we already had a motherfucker in overalls and Simone Johnson. Hey, I found her brother. It's Luwangi.
That person would be Starboy Charlie, who ended up getting his timber scissors and got pinned.
Yeah, did he
Excuse me. It was the arrival of Mic Drop. I'm sorry. Either way, the Acclaim won. But, once again, your boys, Matt Menard and Parker, they are up on the apron with a JS shirt continuing. The offer still stands. Don't do it. That's all I gotta say. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I love you. I love you, Matt Menard, but don't do it.
Just don't.
Just don't do it.
Don't. That's all I gotta say. Don't. All right. As we move on from there, here's somebody that should do something, and maybe already has. As one Don Callis joined the commentary side of things, replacing Tony Schiavone for this match, as Konosuke Takeshita took on Preston Vance, paired with Gosa with Jose, the assistant, of course, in the corner. I like the fact these two, they are mean powerhouse strikers, excuse me. And there was a nice test of strength from the early going, some wicked chops. And then Konosuke Takeshita picks up speed and follows up with that incredible flying clothesline he does, followed by a rolling elbow and plunges to the outside. Nice Yakuza kick in the corner, followed by a neckbreaker for a 2 count. Takeshita in control in the early going. However, when Takeshita hit the ropes, Jose tripped him up. Vance took control from this point on. Back suplex and snap suplex, pair of running clotheslines before we go to the picture-in-picture. We come back, he gets booted in the face in the deadlift German suplex. Doubling rolling elbows, both men are down. Those rolling elbows was in perfect sync, by the way. Both men clocked each other on point. I loved that spot. That was brilliant. Both men with a mean rolling elbow. Who knew? As Vance, though, gets up first, he charges into Takeshita and gets a boot up, but comes off the top with a knee to the face. Damn. But Takeshita follows up with that seamlessly beautiful Blue Thunder bomb. Never wins with it, it seems. 2 count only.
Right.
Followed up looking for the running knee to a seated Vance, but Jose once again, he puts Vance's foot on the rope, saving the match for now. And Jose, he basically paid for it, as Takeshita finally took out the annoying assist on the outside. Thank goodness. Goes back on the ring, but gets caught by a discus lariat. Roy Lee. Preston did not win this match, only got a 2 count. As he looked for the full Nelson, but Takeshita was able to roll him up for a 2. Finally gets out of there, and then there's the arm drag into the backslide. A backslide. And Takeshita got the win.
There you go. Backslide wins it. Sometimes it's just that simple pinning combination that gets the dub. It's okay.
Well, yeah, and Don Kyle says, look at that. He's already on a winning streak. Since I'm trying to manage him. Don Kyle's already taking credit. Surprise, surprise. Anyway. Yeah, and again, Konosuke Takeshita, I mean, he was tested here. He didn't, use the friggin' flying knee strike for pinning Preston Vance. He got him with a fundamental move. He just backslide, drove his knees as far as he could into the mat while pushing forward, and got him down for the 3. Good stuff.
Really good stuff.
Also,
these two had a great match, but again, not that we know how good Preston Vance is, but I mean, Takeshita's a world-class athlete, man. He could get a freaking great match out of a goddamn broomstick. He probably has if he came from DDT, to be fair.
I'm about to say, has he had one bad match yet? Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, exactly. Man, there's so much good young talent on AEW. It's actually crazy. And a lot of people seem to forget, like, how youthful that roster is, and then you see matches like this, it's like, holy shit. And they're on national TV having banger matches like this.
Exactly. Major opportunity, major showcasing, major exposure. Good time to be a wrestling fan of this industry.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of a good time, boy, I tell you what, I'm going to have a good time calling this shit with you, James. Come Ring of Honor, Supercar of Honor. As them boy Mark Briscoe, he says time to move forward with the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. Because March 31st, Supercar of Honor, let's have some fun. Let's find some great tag teams. Let's get a ladder. Let's hang the bells from a ladder. And let's call it the Reach for the Sky ladder match. I love this so damn much. And of all teams to put in this first,
Lucha Brothers, baby.
Officially, the Lucha Brothers, personification of tag team specialists and ladder-based enthusiasts. James, I don't know how many teams are going to be in this and from where, but this is going to be fucking insane.
It's going to be great, man. I'm looking forward to this so much. I'm ready for this, man.
And Mark Briscoe, the encouragement you need, just put it out there. Mark Briscoe, God bless that man.
He's a great hype man. For real. Maybe that should be his role. Because I don't know what you do with Mark, poor guy. Like, I could see
him. We already know what they're doing with him.
Yeah, but, like, what do you do with him, like, in a big role? Like, do you give him a token AEW World Title match, maybe? I could see MJF and Mark Briscoe tearing the house down. Don't get it twisted, but, like...
Don't get me wrong, but that'd just be so way out of left field at this point. It makes more sense that Mark Briscoe is challenging Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. To be determined.
Regardless of what he does, I think I know his role.
Right.
Just judging by this. Party host guy. Hype man. You know how, like, Ring of Honor had, like, I don't know if you've been to a Ring of Honor show pre-Tony buying it, but, like, I don't remember who, I think it might have been somebody specific, but they always had a guy kind of, like, hyping you up for the show. They always were talking on the microphone. They're hyping you up for the show. They ask you trivia questions, whatever. Chance to win free tickets to come to the Ring of Honor TV tapings, which I won, by the way. Just, not to brag. But, yeah, they always had that guy. They always talked about that. We all had a great time. It's a good time. I could see Mark Briscoe being that guy, not just for Ring of Honor, but for AEW shows. Like, getting the crowd excited. Hey, here we go, guys. You ready to go? Hey, yo, guys, come on. AEW's in town. Come on, let me hear ya.
Oh, God. I wouldn't mind. You know what? It's not a bad thing, but hey, this is already a good one. I almost wonder if he's going to be one of the guys spearheading in the teams to pick for this. Because, oh my gosh,
Yeah, to be fair.
Rico's had a lot of history with different tag teams.
I will say the one thing you can do with him, if they don't get Santana back, I think you got a good trio if you bring in Kingston back and have him and Ortiz make up. Mark Briscoe could be a hell of a fucking guy to slot in there. That'd be an interesting trio. Fucking Kingston, Ortiz, and fucking Mark Briscoe. Holy shit.
And we all know how much respect that Eddie Kingston has for the freaking Briscoe boys. There's no doubt about that. But right now, Kingston's trying to set his sights on the Ring of Honor World Championship. As Clay already has shut him down, saying, "A man without honor would never be champion." Damn.
Yeah.
And just walked away. He's like, where you at, Claudio? What the hell is that? Where you at? This is just going to keep going. Please tell me this match gets booked for Supercard of Honor.
Oh,
I'm
so
more
ready
excited
for
right
it.
now for Supercard of Honor, and I haven't even had the freaking card fully announced yet. I just know this match is going to happen. We got one team. What the hell?
Right?
Oh, my gosh. Multiverse United Ring of Honor are going to own that week.
I don't know, man. I even talked about it with Chris and Owen when they did Aftershock, man. You gotta think, NXT Stand and Deliver is actually really loading their show right now. You got WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
WrestleMania.
I can't leave everything out.
That's the thing, and WrestleMania is already becoming stacked. Dude, this week in wrestling for WrestleMania might be the best week of all time for a WrestleMania.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom for every show, because everybody's going to put their best foot forward.
I still say Brock Lesnar versus Omos is bathroom break, but that's just me.
Yeah, but there might be a bathroom break or two during one of the matches. Although considering Ring of Honor and Impact are involved, I doubt it. But still, there might be.
You can't put Ring of Honor and Impact have never had a bathroom break since 2020.
Yeah, that's true. But still, you never know.
You who've been back in WWE can recall bathroom break.
Hey, who knows?
Hey,
who knows?
WrestleMania.
Hey, who knows, man? Maybe Omos, surprises us and he does a Frankenstein to Lesnar. You never know.
Frankenstein to Lesnar. I will freaking eat my hat if he does that.
The almost Steiner,
Oh Jesus.
The almost Rana.
Straight up set. And MVP says, but almost straight up balling with the assist. All right. Well, anyway, hey, we're on TNT. Talking about March Madness. Anyway, meanwhile, as we move on from there, it was time for our main event, as this was a unique rematch, as Rico and Nyla Rose, who are 1-1, look to sell a long-term score. Of course, Rico beat Nyla Rose, become the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion. Nyla Rose beat Rico in February 2020 January 2020, excuse me, to become the second ever AEW Women's World Champion. These two, they did not lose a damn step when it came to what they were both capable of and what both could do. And they're going, I mean, let's be honest here. On paper, this was a match that literally was Powerhouse versus Speed and Tenacity. And that basically was this match story, with slight Shafir interference that better off was maybe not being here. Anyway, the early goal, Rico evades the senton, and Rico, why did you try to slam Nyla Rose? I admire your heart, but it doesn't matter how strong you think you are. Petite 98-pound, I think she is not going to slam the native beast or suplex her.
I agree.
Okay. Anyway, body slam. A for effort. Anyway, body slam by Nyla and the splash, but then Rico bridges out with that matrix from underneath. The way she does that, by the way, seamless. And the fact that she's had nearly 1,000 matches in her young career, that still baffles me. Jesus. Anyway, as we continue this, drop kicks Nyla in the face, and this is how you keep Nyla down. This is how you work Nyla. You keep her off her feet. And meanwhile, Rico comes back off the top rope with a crossbody block, but Nyla catches her. Uh-oh. But thankfully, gets out of the way, and Nyla gets shoved into the steel ring steps. As we come back here, there's a nice standing suplex of her own, reversal, and Rico gets sent to the outside by Nyla, only to be hip-tossed by Marina Shafir behind the red's back. And the judo background coming into play. And then a spine buster by Nyla. Jesus, that spine was probably popped out of place. Thankfully not. 2 count. Vertical suplex by Nyla. 2 count. Rico catches Nyla, though, on the charge with the head scissors. Nice tijeras. But then Nyla hits a body block. Good grief. that puts literally Riho like roadkill. And then Nyla sets Riho up on the top rope, but Riho fakely fights back and hits a diving head scissors. But Riho goes back up, falls up for the diving foot stomp. I thought this was it. Not quite. As Nyla counters back with another head scissors and a huge power slam. Again, the punishment that Riho takes in these matches, sometimes I'm like, Jesus, Darby Allin, eat your heart out. Nyla then drapes Riho across the top rope, looks for that crazy diving guillotine knee drop, and hits it. But somehow, tenacious young Riho survives. I say that literally. Survives. Kicks out at 2. And Nyla couldn't believe it. She falls with the senton misses and then a normalized suplex. Done seamlessly by Riho with a bridge, 2 count only. A crucifix bomb, don't know how she pulled it off, was able to finally take Nyla off her feet, use her own against her, and another 2 count. These two, again, incredible effort and wherewithal. As Riho looks to charge into Nyla Rose, but gets caught with a knee in run. Damn. And then looks for the beast bomb on Nyla Rose, but Riho, and I'm pretty sure this is how she beat her last time, rolls her up with a leg lace, traps the leg with the bridge, and gets the 3. Riho wins!
And then Nyla got mad.
And again, Riho has been on the run. Yep, mad is an understatement.
Yeah,
Those
she
two
got
put
pissed.
The boots to her.
She put the boots to her. Both of them did, and well, Nyla did. Marina tried. Doesn't know how to fucking punch still, and punched her once or twice, I think, and looked like a
Riho
fish
got
out.
planted with the
Dude,
beast
she was
bomb.
like a fish in oil here. She's like, there's a beatdown scene. You look like you're supposed to stay on her. You punched her one time, right? Punched her one time after Nyla Rose started the beatdown. And you punched her in the back of the fucking head, by the way, before the powerbomb happens. And then you punch her one more time. And then get off her. Get off TV. Please. Even on internet. Christ. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue. It's just, she was so bad there. And then, okay, so afterwards, Marina Shafir bullshit aside, then Nyla Rose goes to the back. And then the Outcasts come out. Ruby Soho, Toni Storm, and Saraya. They allow them to go over. And then they paint the L on her and bully her. And it made me sad. And then that's how it went off
that was wrong. That was an awkward end to a really good Rampage, in my opinion. Already on beatdown, that was unnecessary, in my opinion. That was just unnecessary. Although that does make me believe now, will Riho play a factor on the other side? Because she is an AEW original. Again, maybe a little shit, but I don't think that little last bit was necessary. But it wouldn't surprise that the Outcasts were interrupted by Riho, Hayter, and Baker. There I said, and Willow. Just to overcome the numbers.
Something like that. I could see it. I could see it.
We're setting up, like I said, there are two, well, how do I put this? 2 storylines among 4 foundations, respectively 2 men and 2 women, that literally yield blood and guts in general.
Yep.
Blackpool Combat Club and Dark Order, Outcast versus Originals, AEW Women.
Told you. It very well could be 2 blood and guts this year, whether it's both on Dynamite or one's on Dynamite and one's on Rampage. Could happen.
I guess only time will tell. But again, this Rampage was a good balance. It got good progression. There was a nice hot opener. You had your fun little moment with the Acclaim, but you're teasing that idea of the Acclaim versus Jay, I guess. And this was a nice closer. But again, the only thing I would have taken away, honestly, good match with Takeshita and Preston. I just would not have done the Outcast angle. I just wouldn't have. That's just my nitpicking there. But overall, good Rampage. One of the better Rampages, top to bottom, I've seen in a while. Considering what the last one had in the main event. Let's not even talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, by the way, there's one thing we forgot on Rampage. We are going to talk about this because we actually forgot about talking about this. Swerve cut a promo.
What did I forget?
Trench and Parker Boudreaux are on the shelf.
Well,
guess what? That means they go. They gone.
But
Fucking hell. But yeah, basically he challenged Keith Lee, and it looks like it's going to be a straight up one-on-one affair, and he said he has more tricks up his sleeve.
I don't
So
think
this
he
is gonna
challenged
be-
him. I think he warned him, James.
Yeah, he warned him. This is a...
But continue.
His mogul affiliate's gone. I think he's going to get new mogul affiliates to take the place. Because Parker was not TV ready. I don't even want to know how bad Trent was in that ring. And I'm glad we did not stick around to see it with this. This was basically what they did to the Nightmare Collective, except they actually made storyline sense out of it.
Yeah, fair enough. And all Swerve says, Keith Lee, keep your eyes in the back of your head. Coming for you, man. Because I'm not done with you.
Yeah, and he's a cannibal, apparently. He's actually a cannibal, apparently. He's about to eat people. That's... Okay, buddy. All right, dude.
Can you just recruit Savannah Evans to just be like, a managing side role with you?
Ooh, good shout. Good shout as his bodyguard. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
The China to him?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I could see that.
They can go.
Shit.
Well, anyway. Again, we'll have to see what happens with Michelle Shaw and Deonna Purrazzo rematch at Sacrifice made official, and the fact that Deonna Purrazzo will now be in a four-way with Michelle Shaw, Mickie James, if she's still champion, overcomes Jordan Grace at Sacrifice, and also Miyu Yamashita.
Jesus.
Oh man, that's gonna be a hell of a four-way dance in Multiverse United. The pink kick can knock someone's lights out. Let's fucking go. But again, a sub-tenant. Bottom line though, good balanced Fallout week that definitely gave a lot to think about, and it's focusing on a lot of, like you said, younger, up and rising talent on all fronts, whether it's for titles, whether it's for feuds. Again, what the hell is going on with Ricky Starks and Bullet Club crosshairs now?
Right.
That definitely threw me for a loop.
Exactly.
But I enjoyed everything that the Fallout offered me last week, and I'm looking very forward to tonight / tomorrow night, whenever y'all watch this. Dynamite. Excuse me, their Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada debut. All I'm going to say is don't bet against Black. And we'll see who comes against that bitch. Any last thoughts you have, James?
Good week of television this week, man. We had 3 good matches on Dark and Dark Elevation, respectively. You had a really good Dynamite and a really good Rampage, despite an awkward ending. So, thumbs up in my book. It was a good Fallout week.
Awkward.
So, good shit.
Yeah. Awkward ending on both Rampage and Dynamite. And again, Jack Cartwheel. Give me more of him.
Yes, all the Jack cartwheels. All the cartwheels from Jack.
All the cartwheels from Jack.
Yes.
Jack Cartwheel here, Jack Cartwheel there, Jack Cartwheel everywhere.
Yes.
Jack Cartwheel Mania running wild.
Cartwheel Mania is running wild, brother. Yeah, damn right.
Rolling. Not
Keep
running,
rolling.
Anyway.
Keep rolling.
There's a friggin' way to bring back Limp Bizkit. Cartwheel your way down to the ring.
He cartwheels down to the ring with Limp Bizkit. Oh my god. I lose my mind.
That's too creative.
He just goes.
That's too damn creative.
Keep rolling. I want somebody.
Wheeling.
Somebody, please, if the powers that be hear me, I might clip this to Mike. Mike, please download a Jack Cartwheel CAW and have him cartwheel down to the ring to Roland. Please, somebody do it. Anybody.
I retract. Oh, damn it! When have I started? All right. Well,
we'll air it on this show.
Something, but I think.
I'll air it on
I
the show.
bet you will, and I'm just gonna be just friggin' good God Almighty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know, JR. Anyway, as I started something, I think now I will proceed to end things here on this edition on AEW Spark. So again, thank you all for tuning in, being a part of the discussion. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, give it a thumbs up. Let us know your thoughts and comments down below. We do read those, and we do bring that to fruition as well. We appreciate all of you. Before we conclude, James, always a pleasure. This is always a fun week form I look forward to, even in a less than 100% condition, as you can tell by my voice. But anything you want to promote, and where can people find you?
Well, the stuff that we're going to be promoting is all in the live chat, so follow along because I am going to go in order. On this very channel, you could check out this week's episode of WWE Aftershock with Chris Dodd and Owen Finch, and you could also check out AEW Spark from last week with Noah Foster and myself, so you could go check out those very episodes. We upload AEW Spark and WWE Aftershock every week on this channel, which covers every single show that both shows do. So there you go. Check it out if you want to be in the know of what's going on in All Elite Wrestling in one place. You can also check out Own the Talkinator, where he did a Death Note review where he was scary. He actually ranted about something that wasn't wrestling. So if you want to do that, go ahead and check it out. You can subscribe to CM Brothers. An update video will be coming to that and Own the Talkinator relatively soon. Date and time to be determined on that because I am busy as fuck and I can only do so much. But be on the lookout for that. Probably right after WrestleMania, more than likely, is when things are starting to get FTWized on both of those channels. So that's why we're promoting them heavily. So be on the lookout for that. The first WrestleMania Retro on this channel as well. WrestleMania 15 Retro, WrestleMania 2000 Retro, WrestleMania 24 Retro with Jeff Meacham, and WrestleMania 25 with Noah Foster, who did 25. So go check that out. You can also check out, when it comes to Noah and I and stuff that we did, Watch Party for Dynamite and Rampage, AEW Revolution Go Home shows. Go check that out. Simply Predicting panel for AEW Revolution. Our Revolution coverage on the Jeff Beacham Network with myself and Noah, which is the best call that him and I have ever done.
Multiverse of Media.
Yeah, Multiverse of Media.
I agree.
That was the best call we ever had. And you could also check out.
I agree.
You can check out our simple take of AEW Revolution in full with the Renegade JJ Williams from Cassidy 18 Studios. And you could also check out a couple more things. First, WYW. Check that out. Subscribe. Weymouth Youth Wrestling. YouTube.com/user/WYW Pride. And speaking of Cassidy 18 Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media, if you guys want to save money and super chat, this man may have to sing, because if you donate $5, we have to sing a WWE entrance theme. So yeah, if you want this man to sing, he says Simple Man don't sing and Simple Man don't dance, but Simple Man may have to sing. And apparently, what was the thing you said? Oh yeah, if you got
there's no proof. There's no proof.
No. You totally said this. You said that if there was a $50 super chat, you would do the Too Cool dance. Do it.
Damn it, James! Damn it!
If you want to save up $50, people, and then go onto the Jeff Meacham Network, donate that $50, and you can see him do the Too Cool dance. We will also do it with them because it's not fair. I'll actually play the role of Grandmaster Sexay, and Jeff Meacham will be Rikishi. He'll have to be Scotty Too Hot.
There ain't no karaoke happening. Y'all are broke. Y'all ain't got no money. The government makes sure of that. We're going into a recession. Y'all are dealing with tuition. Y'all are dealing with expenses. Y'all are dealing with madness. Y'all are dealing with vacation. Y'all are dealing with every sort of freaking inconvenience. Ain't nobody doing that damn thing. Ain't nobody singing. Simple Man don't do singing. Simple Man does commentary and watch wrestling. Ain't gonna be no damn karaoke March 25th. Ain't nothing. Nothing.
Bart, if you want to sing, if you want to hear Noah sing, $5 is all it takes. It's gotta happen. And if you want him to sing a solo,
never.
$20 for a solo as well.
Shut it! It's not happening. Ain't no singing happening. Damn it! Nothing.
There you go.
No.
Go to that link. Open mic night for Noah to sing, and I will sing too, and everybody will do sing. But he really doesn't want to sing, and yeah, he's very sad. He's very miffed about it. There you go.
I don't have a friggin' price tag on my dignity, alright? I don't sing, damn it.
You're singing.
Anyway.
Singing.
Yeah, you're just saying. It ain't happening. Ain't happening, damn it. Ain't happening. Anyway. Well, James, I'm sure Cast 18 Studios, Renegade JJ Woods appreciate that, as well as the Jeff Beacham Network family. God bless you all, so you all are bloody damn fools, but also appreciate you. Thank you again, folks, for tuning in. If you want to know more about me, though, know this. For I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! So find me on the Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Foster1916 for all things wrestling. And shout out, of course, the entire ATW family on Twitter. Again, this is going to be a very simple week. Ain't nothing going on. Except for Open Mic Night, of course, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across the Jeff Beacham Network Multiverse of Media. Stay tuned for that. And then next week, Predicting returns Friday night on March the 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on my Simple YouTube channel, on the Renegades channel, and on James' channel. Now that I have his part of my StreamYard too. Try stream. Of course, on Friday, March 24th, 5 p.m. Standard Time, it will be Super Predicting Sacrifice, and then we'll go over to the Championship of Blood vs. Mia for coverage of Sacrifice. And then following that, the planning of the Week of Madness begins. Stay tuned for ATW View, WrestleMania, Safety Predicting Panels for WrestleMania, Ring of Honor Supercard, NXT Stand and Deliver. Stay tuned for me being part of the official Team No DQ panels for WrestleMania. And also stay tuned, of course, for me to host Exhibition WrestleMania panels for the women of the multiverse on the Championship Blood vs. Mia. And stay tuned for a fun exclusive Horseman predictions on the Multiverse United that I am planning behind the scenes with my Horseman predictions. And stay tuned, of course, for me, James, and JJ to provide you all the Watch Love live commentary at coverage for not only Impact Wrestling's Multiverse United, but also the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, the WWE Hall of Fame, WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2, NXT Stand Delivered, and the Raw After Mania. And then following that on that Tuesday, tentatively, if we still have a voice, we, of course, will do a WrestleMania Simple Take. And that is everything coming up shortly, all between now and the conclusion of WrestleMania Week 2. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and, by the way, be a better person. Don't be a dickhead just because you have the power of a keyboard at your fingertips. I support Riho. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as this video goes live on demand on any of our channels. Hit the thumbs up. Give us the support. Give us the love. Our YouTube content, passion, creativity, and content is not laying up anytime soon, I assure you. And thank you once again for tuning in to another edition of AEW Spark. Until next time, for James Hebert, I am the Superman Noah Foster, always wishing you to make a positive impact in life and have a good night. For we are AEW.
Podcast has concluded. Be sure to check out more group discussion as far as AEW content is concerned, and check out more content from For the Win Productions.